On, right? Good morning, Founder fam. We are so excited to have you here. This is going to be an epic 2-day experience. If you have not cleared your schedule, I am telling you right now in this moment, you are going to want to. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. today and tomorrow, you are going to have so many surprises, so many delights, because that's what our Lord likes to do, and so many opportunities to scale your business. Maybe you're still in dream phase, so scale seems a little scary. That's okay too, because this is an Ignite opportunity. You're going to hear from people from all over the country in so many different genres and categories of business and entrepreneurship and pastoral and ministries and movements and et cetera, et cetera. And so I know whoever you are, wherever you are, that you are a part of the family right now. We want you to feel like you're a part of this experience. And I personally, in case you don't know, my name is Tamara Andrus. I host the FounderCon every single year. This is our 4th annual conference. And last year and the years before, it's been named a lot of different things. You're going to get to hear about the evolution of what FounderCon is, what founder really even means besides being in the flesh as a founder of a business. It's truly being founded in Him. And so I thought about every tiny detail. I thought about the people who are going to be holding these mics, interacting with you for the next 2 days. I thought about the people on main stage. I thought about the people who are being chimed in throughout the event, so that you feel like you're being served to the utmost ability, regardless of where you are. The cool thing is, if you are currently chiming in from Facebook or YouTube and you're seeing the live stream, this is a surprise and delight experience, so that you've got 3 hours with us. But after that 3 hours goes away, 11 a.m. Eastern sharp, you will no longer see this feed. And so we want to make sure that you upgrade now. You're going to see those links in the chat. You're going to be able to experience some people who are live in action, ask questions, get excited, and know that you are activating us by being active where you are. This is a cameras on arena. So what does that mean? There are probably, I can't even count how many cameras there are on me, even in this very moment. And this is just the virtual stage. What I mean for that for you is when I go onto the main stage and all the people are in that space that have come to gather here in Raleigh, North Carolina, they are going to see you. They're going to see you projected up on these huge LED screens. And so I know you hear this all the time to have cameras on in your Zoom room. If you're not available to do that, but you're listening because you've got kiddos running or you're doing carpool, whatever that looks like for you, maybe just upgrade your photo on there. Like, I'm all for it, whatever that looks like. But we want you to know that we see you, we hear you. Your chat is going to be something that we get to see on main stage too. So I see Connor's in the house. I know Kelly's in the house. And as we see you chatting and chiming in, we want to know where you're from. That would be a really fun thing for me right now. I'd be like, oh, we got people from Virginia. That's where I'm from. We've got people flying in from the Bahamas today. Can't wait to hug their neck. So truly know that this was intentional for you all to feel like you're in the room, even though you're not. But next year, I know you're going to be summoned. It's going to happen. So thank you for being a part of Founder. You're going to hear from me on main stage in just a little bit, but I have the honor to introduce to you the first surprise and delight. And these are two men who I just totally honor. I'm so grateful to have them as friends and brothers in Christ. And they are entrepreneurs. They're trailblazers in and of itself. You might know them, maybe a little bit more than you know me, because they have a digital footprint that goes to millions of people across platforms. And they do so by honoring the Lord first and foremost, and also showing who they are creatively in Christ. And I don't think that there's any better way to say that you're a founder than to say that you follow him and every single day you show up to show other people who he is in and through you. So one of those things they were asking me before I got on here, by the way, it's really hot with all these lights and I'm wearing a hooded, like awesome coat. Okay. It's fur. And I get to change my outfit like so many times this weekend intentionally because I want you to find the things you're passionate about and I want you to put them out front. And so these men do that every single day on social media through prayer, through storytelling. They're incredible at it. And you're going to get to be with them for the next 2 days. So I want to welcome to the stage my friend Josiah Alapate and Dane Camilla. Thank you guys for being here and I'll see you soon.
Welcome to FounderCon. I am one of your MCs, Dane Camilla, alongside Josiah Alapate. We are so excited to be with you here for the next 2 days, and for all of you who are streaming on YouTube and Facebook. We can see you in the chat, we can see you in the comments, and we are just so excited to be spending time with you, helping develop, equip, and deploy individuals in the marketplace for ministry. Now, before we get started, I wanted to talk to Josiah about that in regards to how you see this conference and what people can expect when it comes to marketplace ministry and what we're doing here.
Yeah, y'all, I just want to tell you, this is amazing that we get to do this virtually. We've been doing this for a few times, just live and in person. And I know that many of you guys wanted to join us here live in North Carolina. But those of you guys, this is the cool thing about being virtual. We are crossing all boundaries. Like we're streaming globally. There's people who are coming in from the Bahamas. There are people coming in from Texas, from Arizona. I see Virginia Beach up in here. There's going to be people from near and far. And the cool thing is this. Sometimes people, I know y'all have been on Zooms before, right? Y'all have been on Zooms. Y'all have done the whole Zoom thing before. But here's the deal. You're going to be right here in the room with us every single step of the way. Just like Tamara said, cameras on. And the cool thing about the stage, they got the whole setup. They're going to feel your energy behind the scenes. So don't think that this is just something that you're going to be passive. You're going to be actively participating in what we have going here. And what we're believing is God's going to move in a powerful way on behalf of those who are willing to grow massively. So we're super excited about everything that's going to be happening here. Dane, this is awesome that we get to go live right now.
I'm so excited. Coming from someone who live streams almost every day on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you might know me from, this is honestly the same thing. And it's just great to be able to do it in an interactive environment, partnered with an amazing foundation, which is the FounderCon Collective. If you guys don't know about them and you're seeing this for the first time, please go ahead and check out all of the things that are available on these pages, from Facebook to YouTube. We have amazing speakers that we are going to be showcasing here virtually, as well as on the main stage for those who are in person. But if you are virtually with us, you'll be able to see all of that. Again, like Tamara mentioned too, we are going to be live streaming for 3 hours, and then it's going to stop there. So if this is something you want to be a part of, go ahead and get your ticket right now. It's going to be in the chat. We're so excited to spend this first few moments with you, but the rest of today and tomorrow.
Yes, and the cool thing too, I want to let y'all know, we got a whole team behind the scenes. So shout out to our behind the scenes crew, specifically Kelly, who's going to be in the chat. So as you guys chat, if you guys have questions, if you guys have anything that you want to respond to or need an answer to, Kelly's going to be there behind the scenes to be able to chat with you guys. We see it live right here. We got everything ready to go. Reminder for you guys, hey, this first portion is going to be a free live stream. It's going to be awesome. But what's to come is right after that. We've got speakers from everywhere, powerful people who are in the marketplace. I'm super excited. Later on today, we're going to be talking to Marcus Black. He has Embrace Your Ambition, dynamic global speaker, author, and he's going to be firing it up. But you only get access if you move into our out of the free version into the paid version. Now, if you want to be able to do that, you want to go to the FounderCon Collective /FounderCon to get your tickets. We would love to see you there for sure.
Yeah, so go ahead and get your tickets. Just to kind of get you guys started on what we're going to be doing here this morning is we're going to be bringing in some people who are here, some speakers, to talk to them, get you to know them a little bit more, and then we are going to be moving from this to the main stage. You'll see that here on live stream on YouTube as well as Facebook. So it's going to be a little bit of live streaming here, as well as you being able to see what's going on in the main stage, from the speakers to what's going to happen over the next 2 days. We're really excited. No matter where you are at in your life, whether it's you feel God calling you to do something, move into something new, God can use you in so many magnificent, amazing ways in the marketplace, whatever that might be. Maybe it's you, a teacher, or you feel like God has put something on your heart to start a business, whatever it might be. This is a place where we equip, develop, and deploy people in the marketplace for Christ, having God at the center of what you do every single day. Josiah and I have had the privilege to do that in the social media sphere from digital, and we have tons of things that we're going to be talking about over the next 2 days. You're going to meet some amazing people in digital ministry. A lot of you might know Andrew Carter. He is going to be here too, streaming and being able to do a conversation and a panel with other content creators like this, how he got started, answer questions. So if you feel that prompting on your heart, you feel like God is calling you to something new, this could not be a better place to be at. We are so excited to have you, and continue to stay engaged with us. If you are on Zoom right now watching this, there's a ton of things to do in the platform, from the different sponsors we have, and shout out to all of the sponsors for this event. They make this event happen. They are such a big part of this event. So check them out, and we're excited.
Yes, and here's some of the benefits for those of you guys who are watching this free stream right now. Here's some of the benefits to go on the rest of this journey for the weekend, for the whole time, right? So you also get a digital swag bag. You're also going to have access to things that you don't get access to, that people aren't going to get access to who are in the live. So here's what's special. People who are here live, you're not missing out. You're going to get all of that. But if you're joining us virtually, you're going to get plus more, right? You're going to get the digital swag bag. You're going to get access to speakers exclusively just for virtual. So we got Sia, who's going to be coming up tomorrow. We've got Ryan Griffiths, who's got an incredible testimony of how he's taken his story to reach millions of people, right? And we also have Dustin Tavella, who is America's Got Talent. He's a winner of 2021 America's Got Talent. He's going to be doing a magic show for us, which is incredible. You won't get access to that unless you move forward in the journey with us. So again, we want to make sure that you head over to the founderconcollective.org /FounderCon, and we want to see you on the free version, or on the moving on version, to continue with us for the rest of the week. So let me ask you this, Dane. Bro, we just came out of here from Arizona. We're here in North Carolina. What do you think about the place?
It is absolutely amazing. The greenery, everything reminds me. The last place I was at was Nashville. So, and just meeting so many believers just from getting here is an awesome thing. This event space too that we're at, I was actually at this conference last year, and just to see the transformation, the people, the stories, the testimonies, I know God is going to show up in so many amazing ways here virtually and in person. So if you are here virtually with us and this is something that you are really enjoying, we'd love to see you in person next year. But everything that you're going to see here today and tomorrow is going to be so powerful. We're so excited to have you here. We have some specific speakers only for virtual, which is great. We're going to bring them on. We're going to ask them questions. We also have Craig Brown, who some of you might know from being a pastor to being turned into a digital minister, who also travels, has an amazing story, has so much wisdom within him on how he got on TikTok to then just reaching millions of people for the kingdom. If that's you, if you feel like, can I share my faith? Can I do something for the kingdom on social medias? It is one of the best places in the marketplace to make an impact. We started over less than 3 years ago when I was in a job and I didn't know what God necessarily wanted me to do and if I could make a difference in the marketplace. But with the prompting from the Lord and just being obedient, he's taken it to a place where I never thought possible, and all the glory goes to him. So if you're thinking, how can you use me, God? I don't know necessarily what that looks like. This is a place where when you get in the room virtually or in person, God will hit you in your spirit, just like he's done for me last year when I was here, and help you and have fellowship. Fellowship is something we're missing in the kingdom. We need people that we can interact with virtually as well as in person, who are fellow believers that we can count on and we can pray with and who can help guide us in this walk. We have to make sure we're obviously going to church, but also getting around people who are doing something similar. I didn't have that when I began as a content creator, but I have that now with people like Josiah, who I've gotten to meet because of social media. So if you're here and you're excited, but you're not sure, that's totally fine. Be here, be open, stay engaged in the comments, and we're excited to see what happens.
Yeah, that's right. And the cool thing too is literally on the other side of this wall, there are men and women who are gathering to join us for our live event. And we're actually going to pull a few of them in. We want to have you experience what's happening on the other side of those walls. So we'd love to bring in a few guests to just kind of share a little bit about what's going on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Give us your name real quick.
Hello, everyone. I'm Beijing. I'm not Chinese. I'm from the Bahamas.
Beijing from the Bahamas.
Yes.
What called you to be out here with us today?
Oh my gosh, Tamra. So, I met her at the beginning, or I think I met her at the ending of 2022 via email. So email going strong through a mutual friend. And she introduced me and I said, I'm Beijing. After that, I stalked her on social media, saw that she had a podcast. And so I, started following her podcast. I loved the content. It was exactly what I prayed for the Lord to send me, Christian business leaders, so I could learn more in that. And then I went into her course. And then after her course, I saw that she's doing a conference. And I was like, okay, we're going to do this entire thing. And so here I am in North Carolina.
Crazy. You came here from the Bahamas. What are you most excited about for this weekend?
Such a great question. Okay, so I'm very most excited for the relationships that I'm going to create with Christian business kingdom people. Yes, I'm very, very excited because it's what I prayed for, and God's like, oh, here you go. And so now I'm here.
Y'all, I'm going to just tell you right now, the energy coming from this woman is insane. Y'all, this is about to be just the Beijing show here.
No.
All right, no, but this is awesome. We're super excited that you're
Thank
here. We can't wait to have you enjoy it. Maybe we'll check in later to see what you get from it.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. We'll see you soon.
Yes.
Y'all, this is so cool. This is live and in person, y'all. We are doing this live. Again, if you're joining us on the live stream, we would love to have you guys turn your cameras on, bring all the fire in the chat, all the emojis, all of the different things. Let me just test this out real quick. If you're in the Zoom right now, drop some fire in the chat so I know that you're there. I know it's early. It's like 5:20 in the morning if you're on Pacific Standard Time, but I need y'all to get up, to wake up. Ain't nothing better than coffee than Jesus, baby. Let's get up this morning. I want to see some fire in the chat, some heart emojis. I want to see that you guys are active. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, all the things. Let's make sure that this gets out. Also, if you are on the live stream, we want to make sure that you guys share this with as many people as possible. What better way for us to create a massive movement of God than for all of us to be able to share what's happening right here? You could have been anywhere on a Friday morning, but you decided to be here with us. I'm seeing the fire coming in the chats. This is awesome. And as we see it in the chat, our live speakers on the stage are also going to see you going too. Dane, this is awesome, bro.
I'm so excited. Even from that first conversation, you can see the power of fellowship, right? And just being around like-minded individuals who are led by the Spirit, who want to meet others because God shows up in so many ways. So we're going to continue to bring them on as we go. And we got another guest coming up.
Let's
right
go. Let's
now.
go. Come on down. Come on down.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Give us your name real quick.
My name is Doug Elks, and I'm actually here from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Let's go. Awesome. So what brought you here today?
God brought me here today.
Okay.
Honestly, it's a crazy testimony, not making it a long story, but essentially just a huge answered prayer. I've been praying to connect with more like-minded people. I'm an entrepreneur, and I had a guy who's actually one of the keynotes speaking here reached out to me on Instagram and wanted to connect, and I come to find out that he is speaking in Raleigh this week. We connect. He invites me to the event. I talked to Tamara, and boom, that's how quick it happened. Awesome. It happened in a couple of days.
Awesome. So on a personal level, like this is going to be you sitting in that seat in that room. What did you come here this weekend to receive?
I think I'm excited to get more exposure from other like-minded people. I think that's one of the most powerful things we can harness as individuals, is getting exposure to like-minded people that are going in the places that you want to go.
Yep.
And so I'm just expectant. I'm excited to build relationships, to meet people, to learn from people, to just be open to whatever comes from this event. And I know that things will happen that I can't even anticipate because you surround yourself with the right kind of people. Really exciting things happen.
Love it. So one last question. So what when I say the words business is ministry, what comes to mind for you?
Honestly, probably just serving God above anything. You know, laying down your personal desires, laying down the things that you personally want in order to serve the kingdom and what God has for us. And I think a lot of times we think we know what we want and we think we know that's best, but God always has what's best for us.
Come on.
And I'm just excited, man. He always comes through. He never fails. His faith is incredible, and I'm just excited to see how that plays out today and this weekend.
Well, we're excited. If you could give something to the live streamers who are watching right here, if you could look into that camera and give them some word of advice while they're joining us from the live stream, what would you give them?
I would say one piece of advice is just soak it up, be open, just keep your mind ready to learn and your heart ready to receive, because I think that's when God can come in and do the greatest work, is when we lay our guard down and we're just open to the Holy Spirit and what's happening through different interactions, different people, what people are saying and that sort of thing. So just be open and be ready.
Let's go. Well, we're excited for you. Can't wait to
Thank
see
you.
you get what you came for. It's going to be a great time.
Thank
So
you so
we'll
much.
see you soon, man.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Man, this is going to be awesome, y'all. Again, these are men and women from all across the country, different industries. Here's the cool thing. From authors to speakers to social media influencers to people who are just in the trenches doing marketplace ministry. I'm talking about business for the Lord. That's what we're all about, right?
We are all about that. And again, these are two people we just got the opportunity to meet for the first time. And the thing that always comes to my mind is kingdom relationships. Whether you're watching virtually, I've built so many kingdom relationships just from the use of social media. So sometimes you need to get out of your comfort zone for God to show up in great ways and bring people into your life. So as you're here, you can connect with people, whether it's on social, ask them how they're doing, have that accountability partner to exchange notes with. That is what we're all about, is building kingdom relationships to help you in whatever it is that God is calling you to do. But we have another person to bring in and interview real quick. So let's go ahead and do that right now.
How's it
Good
going?
morning.
Tell us what your name is.
Crystal Parker.
Awesome, Crystal. So what brings you here today?
I am here. Well, the Lord brought me here today, honestly. I'm just so excited to be here today. I'm here to learn what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ in a community of people that are just like me. And Tamara is showing the way, man. I am so excited to be here. I get to speak today, but really I'm here to learn.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be speaking into.
Okay, so my talk is called The Midas Touch. And everything I touch turns to gold, platinum, and for the ladies, it's
Come on.
Prada. Come on. And really what I want to do is help people not fall into the profit trap. of just, going for money, and in once you get it, it's just empty. There's just a hole right there. So I'm going to help people walk through that and see what that means. Came in from Orlando, Florida, so representing Orlando. I'm so excited to be here. It's my first time in North Carolina.
Great. Okay, so you've got to talk today, but also you came here to receive too.
Oh.
What are you looking forward to this weekend?
Yeah, I just am looking for a renewal, really. I love this because this is a new circle for me. Like, everybody here is super cool. I mean, people online can probably see that the people, the interviewers that are coming through, and you guys, this is cool. I'm kind of a nerd. No, I'm a really big nerd. And so I'm usually in more of a stuffy type of boardroom place. And this is, if you can't tell by the suit, I took my jacket off. Like, but I'm really excited to come in and just see the movement of God in a place that's different than the rooms that I'm normally in. And so I think that's really what I'm going to get out of this, is be able to take this back to the places that God's put me in, to be able to say there's a movement happening that's really grassroots, right on the ground. And so that I'm really excited about that, just to receive that.
Love that. That's awesome. And here's the thing, y'all. Y'all are not going to be able to watch her speak unless you move over on the journey with us. We're going to drop it in the chat. I know y'all are watching the free stream, but we're going to drop it in the chat how you can continue on the journey with us so you can watch her speak and you can receive too. This is awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so
much. We can't wait.
I can't wait to be here with you guys. Come on over to the other track, because I really believe that God's given me something to share. And I just want to help people, number one, just get to that success part so they can experience significance.
Amen.
And so there's a step-by-step piece that I'm going to bring to you in that. So come on over to that side, because there's 7 steps I want to share that God's really given me to share. So I'll see you guys there. And thanks for having me.
Come on.
Today.
Of course.
All
Of
right.
course. I'm super excited about those 7 steps, y'all. This is going to be awesome. We see y'all in the chat. We see y'all in the room. We see you, Rachel, Deanna, Anthony. Ying is in the house. Yo, I know, again, we want to ask you guys, turn your cameras on. Even as messy as your room can be, put the little filter on the back so we don't see it. Whatever it is, we're doing real life here with y'all, okay? We're doing real life, but we want to go ahead and continue. We want to bring in one more guest with you guys. Come on through. All right. Oh, let's go. All right, guys, let's go. So they're everybody's right there on that camera right there. Tell us your names, guys.
Hi, my name is Elise.
And I am Justin.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Where are you guys from?
So we're coming here from Miami, Florida, and we run a company called Own It, and we actually work together. And it's been...
We're also married.
We are also married. That is a good point. I didn't even start with that. How wild is that? But yes, we are married, and it's been just a God-given mission for us to be able to redeem the health of the world in what we do. And being here with Tamara has just been so great to see what this is. And I'm excited for each one of you to get something unique out of this. And God, I know, is going to meet you exactly where you need to be met today, and to be able to pull out of you what he's actually put inside of you.
Awesome. And as business owners who are spouses and in ministry together, what would you have for those who are out there who are also in that space, but maybe just getting started? What would you have for them this morning?
The main thing I would say is just lean into what God is telling you. Press in. He has a plan for you. It's not going to be easy, and it's likely not going to be at all what you expected. I can tell you our journey has certainly not been easy, but working together, being in ministry, and ultimately following God's calling has made us stronger as individuals and has just really enriched our marriage as well.
That's so awesome. Now, tell me this. If we said the word business is ministry, what comes to mind for you guys?
Business is it's truth. That literally is it, because whatever God has put on your heart, the experiences that you've been through, the expertise that you have, the passion that you have, it's so cliche to I think come back and say that you're not qualified. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. But it's so true at the end of the day, because everything that you've been through has ultimately been preparing you for what it is that you're about to step into. And if you don't have some level of imposter syndrome, if you don't feel equipped, that means you're in the right area. It means you're in the right place. And as you continue to step into that, as you continue to listen, go off of his timing, not your timing, and it will be exactly the way it's supposed to.
Come on, come on. Look, y'all are getting fire, and we ain't even started yet, y'all. This is what's so amazing. Okay, so you guys also came here to receive. What are you guys looking forward to for you personally this weekend?
For me, it's relationship with like-minded people. You know, already I haven't even been here 24 hours and I can't even count on these two hands the amazing people that I've met. So for me, it's really about a relationship and really diving into that.
I'm one of these guys that doesn't have any expectations when I step into rooms like this, because I think I've been in enough rooms of this caliber thus far in the last 2 or 3 years, and whatever expectation I've come in with, it's been completely different. And so I'm just coming in, and the one word that I have is expectant. Expectant that God is going to move, expectant that there's going to be a move inside of me, but also just downloads in my mind that I'm going to then have to be expectant to go and take action on, because there's going to be a lot of things, and I'm encouraging everybody out there that's listening as well. You're going to have a lot of downloads this weekend. You're going to have a lot of aha moments. You're going to have a lot of epiphanies, and it's one thing to have them, but it's another thing to get them down on paper. It's another thing to write them out. It's another thing to see them, to pull it, to hold on to it, and then go and act on it tomorrow. And so I want to encourage you is expect that God is going to move, but if God moves, he then expects you to take action.
Come on. We're done. We're done, y'all. Man, thank you guys for joining us. We're super excited for both of you guys to join us here. We can't wait to see, and we are expectant for some big things this weekend. So yeah, guys, this is awesome as we join the rest of you guys who are near and far on the free stream, the live stream, whatever that may be. We're excited about what's to come. So yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Yeah, of course.
Guys, appreciate you.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all, we are pumped about what's happening here. Look, we are 30 minutes into the live stream. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm sweating, bro. Not because it's hot in here. It's just the energy is huge. I see a few of you guys in the chat. I know I've read something in the chat that was saying, man, it's a bummer that we can't be there to build the relationships. Well, hey, we're going to be joining each other for the next 2 days, okay? And so wherever you are, even if you're virtual, hey, we family already. So you can get into a relationship with us, with those of you who are in the virtual rooms together. But also we want to build community here. The virtual community that we have is incredible. Okay, so even if you're not here, I know it's a bummer, you can't hug next. But you are here, you are truly here, a part of this entire experience. We set up the stage so that they know that you're here. So we want to hear all of the things in the chat, takeaways, activity that's happening, ahas that are happening. Something that you might write in the chat may be beneficial for somebody across the country and may completely be a game changer for them. So Dane, man, we're rolling.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And again, just to talk about the virtual attendees here on Zoom, is you have opportunities to see all of the speakers and all of the people who are involved in this event in some way, shape, or form. So take a moment to look at that list. Your dashboard is interactive. There's things to do in there. You can download the app. This is a way to get plugged in and get connected. Yes, it might be a little uncomfortable at first, but I don't know how many times I reached out to someone just from an email or a message on Instagram, even when I wasn't doing social media. And the ability of someone who is a believer to want to respond, to want to point me in the right direction or have a conversation, these things happen virtually and they also happen in person. So we're super excited to see what's going to happen virtually. And just from a couple of conversations we've had from people that we're just getting to meet here in person, we hear things from, wanting to really do something when it comes to your career that not just makes you money, but fulfills you. Well, the way that happens is when you bring God into what you're doing and you really talk to him about where he is calling you and what he is asking you to do, as well as coming here to get filled. You ever have that time in your life where you feel drained? You're working so hard. You got a family, you got friends, you got responsibilities, and you feel like you're just drained and you need to be filled up. These are places and spaces for you to get filled by being around other believers and letting God move, fill you up for what you need. This is so important. So we're super excited. We're just getting started, and we have so much for you guys who are just tuning in for the first 3 hours. That's totally fine. If you want to be with us for 2 days, you know where to go. The link is in the chat. And let's keep this going.
Yeah, and what I want to share, this is just a word that just came to me this morning, y'all. In our industries, and there might be somebody right now who's watching this on live, you've gotten into this space and place of performance, right? I get that. And I believe that there's a lot of people who are out there, like myself, who want to perform well and do the things that they do and to do it well. But maybe you've been on this cycle of performance and going and going and going and getting tired and tired and tired and life is going by. Let me just tell you, this weekend is going to be high energy, but also this is the word that came to me this morning, that you would find rest here this weekend. And I just had to let that sink in for a moment, that you would find rest here, because here's what I do know. You are in good company this weekend. You're going to be with men and women who are in the marketplace, who are doing ministry, to do things that God would call them to do. Of course, to do it in excellence and at a high level, but also to be here with one another, to refresh one another so that we can go out into the world and be a bigger beacon of light. So this weekend, yes, this is going to be a place of high energy, but also a place of rest for you, where you can find a place where you're refreshed and ready to go.
We have another guest coming in to chat with you guys for just a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that right now.
Let's go. What's up,
going on,
brother?
guys? How y'all doing? What's happening, man? Gotta get in the frame.
All right, tell us your name.
My name's Aaron Davis. They call me the Tattoo Preacher. I'm gonna be speaking today, probably around, I think, 2:00 Eastern time.
Let's go.
Yeah, man, I'm coming from Nashville, Tennessee, and welcome everybody from around the world right now. This is exciting times, man.
Yes.
Good times in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yes. So tell us a little bit. Give us a sneak peek into what are you going to be talking about this weekend?
Today, I'm going to be talking about how the Holy Spirit can use business people beyond the scope of just business.
Wow.
So it's going to be awesome. Entrepreneurs, people who've experienced, any number of business professionals. A lot of times we limit ourselves just by the perspective of, the box that we're placed in as business professionals. But I believe that God's got something more for all of us, and I'm excited to share it. I think it's going to be something that's going to be really great. I talked with a couple of guys this week that are business professionals, and they were like, "What are you going to talk about this conference?" And I shared it with them. They go, "Wow, I've never heard that taught before."
Come on.
And so it's always kind of good to get that good positive feedback. I feel like I'm TikToking here.
That's great. Well, y'all are not going to be able to see this unless you move on to the track with us. So we want to make sure that you move on with us as we go forward. Tell us a little bit about, we've been asking a lot of people who've been coming in, when we mention the words business is ministry, what comes to mind for you?
Business is ministry. Well, you know what? I often will use the statement, ministry is where you're at. And I think a lot of times we just get pigeonholed. We just find ourselves as business owners and entrepreneurs and different things. We find ourselves just pigeonholed into being the thing that everybody else is within that environment. But the thing is, when you carry the Spirit of God, you carry heaven into every place you see hell in the earth. So it doesn't matter if you are, if you're working in a factory, if you are a nurse, if you are the ice cream man, like every place you go, when you extend your hand, the Holy Spirit that lives within you, the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives within you, and He is stretching His hand forth. And when you walk into environments, I just walked out in the hallway and felt to start talking to somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, I've experienced some issues in my body," and I'm like, "Well, you know what? I'm a guy who believes in the power of healing, and how the anointing breaks the yoke of bondage in people's lives." And so we laid hands on the sick in that moment. I realize we're at a conference. Maybe this isn't the environment that most people see as an opportunity, but in my opinion, this is a perfect opportunity for the Holy Spirit to use you in a situation. Well, in the same light, when we're dealing with our entrepreneurs, business professionals, things of that nature, you don't have to just be that. You're not just the label. Before anything, the Spirit of God lives in you, and there's just so much so much untapped potential, I believe, in the business world as it pertains to kingdom perspective. So that's a long answer.
Amen. Well,
I
that's
don't know
good.
what the Reader's
No,
Digest
that's
version
good.
would be.
That's good, because what we want to do is, what we're going to be doing is unlocking and awakening your potential in the marketplace to be better stewards of what God
Come
has
on.
given you to do ministry at a higher level. Y'all, this is what I love about what you said. At the end of the day, right, there's humanity involved in what we're doing, right? There is a man and woman behind that camera. There are men and women behind the scenes over here that need more Jesus, right? And so we want to make sure that that is at the forefront of everything that we do. And so I'm super excited to hear about your talk today. Again, you won't be able to have access to it unless you move along the journey with us. We want to usher you into that. We're super excited.
Oh, man, stoked. Thanks,
yeah,
guys. Really
yeah, of
appreciate
course.
it.
Thanks for joining
Got
us.
a couple other people out here. If you're
Let's
ready for it.
go. Let's go.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. So we're gonna be bringing in a few more people here to that you get to hear from, y'all. This is super exciting. Let's bring them in. Come on down. Come on down. What's up, guys? Let's go. What's up? What's up? All right. So give us your names. Give us your names. Everyone on that camera right over there.
Hey, I'm Brianna.
And I'm Austin Blanchfield.
Okay. So Austin and Brianna, you guys came here from where?
Oregon, super small town in Oregon.
You want to hold the mic?
Yeah, I can hold the mic. And we're super excited because, Oregon is like super wet and rainy and cold. And we come here and it's like, okay, here we go. This is nice. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So guys, there's Oregon, Bahamas, Miami. We're all here from all different places. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Yeah. So we're both worship artists and musicians, and we're here to just ultimately not just facilitate the presence of God, but really just experience it. Like, we want to soak in his presence as much as we possibly can. And that's what we're here with, people who are just on fire and have a passion for just really seeking him and seeking him first above all else. And that's one thing that I'm really passionate about. Like, when it comes to business and being in the marketplace, and when it comes to creating content online, anything you do, seek first the kingdom above all else. And that's what we're all here to do. And so we're really excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah. What are you guys most excited about for this next 2 days?
I just think it's really cool that we have this community of believers who are all so on fire for their businesses, but also on fire for the Lord. And so to cultivate even a stronger sense of community, even with the online community, it's just so powerful. And I feel like this is almost like breeding ground for something greater to happen.
Yeah, that's so cool. Guys, there's people who are joining us from all over the place. We've been asking everybody who's coming in here, when we say the words business is ministry, we ask them what your thoughts. So what would be your thoughts on that specific phrase, that business is ministry?
Yeah, you can't do anything apart from God. And so just that aspect of seeking first the kingdom, whether it's in your faith, your fitness, your family, your finances, your fun, in your business, and whatever you are called to do, it is always involving God and really just putting him at the center of it all, like Jesus at the center of it all.
Yeah, I think about how a lot of people, when we think of the word ministry, we think of church. And my dad always taught me that, he's a pastor, but he always taught me it's never about the place, it's always about the people. And so wherever there are people, there's an opportunity for ministry. As carriers of Christ, we have the gospel, we have the light, we have the Holy Spirit inside of us. And therefore, any interaction is an opportunity for an encounter with the living God, which is so special.
Love that. Well, y'all, we are super excited that you're here with us this weekend. We can't wait to see y'all later on. You guys are actually going to take the live stage too. So when you guys are in the chat again, when you guys see them on the live stage, we want to see the fire emojis, the hearts, everything. Give them your energy. We can even give them the energy right now. But guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you guys here in a bit. Dane.
Josiah. So just from these conversations, you hear things and it makes you think about things. And the thing that I just keep going back to in my head after these conversations is, how do you involve God into everything that you're doing? We can't put God in a box for Sunday every week or other week or whatever it might be in your life, but how do you intertwine him into your personal relationship? How do you intertwine him into your business? And this is the thing that everyone is talking about when they come up here on stage. It is so important. It's crucial. It's something that you can do by getting around people, by talking about it, by seeing how other people are not only stewarding their business or the thing that God has placed on their life, but why it's the most important thing in their life. Just from this experience last year and having the opportunity to meet some of these people, this is the most important thing to them, their relationship with God and it being at the top, in the center, all around everything that they do. And you can feel it in their spirit. You can feel it in as they talk to you, and you're going to get to meet so many of them virtually, which we are so excited about.
Yes, this is awesome. I mean, I'm dumbfounded at the setup that we have here. If y'all could only be here and see what we see right now, what I'm super excited about are the brave souls who are going to turn their cameras on so we can see y'all's faces. I love seeing names on the screen, but I also want to see some faces too. So I can't wait. Let's go. We're in here. Let's go. Faces on the screen. Let's go. I see them coming. I see them coming. All right, here we go. Y'all, we are 15 minutes away before we launch, okay? 15 minutes away. When we get launched, this is going to be super exciting. You guys are going to be able to see our live in-person things that are happening here in North Carolina, right? You're going to be able to see that and participate in all of that. And that's going to go until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So when the clock strikes 11, right, you want to move over to the actual live stream. We want to go ahead and click on the link that's going to be placed into the chat so that you can join us. We would love for you to join us for the entirety of this weekend. You're going to have access to a digital swag bag. You're going to have access to exclusive speakers who are only on virtual, y'all. And you're also going to be able to receive access to our community to keep you going after the event. And this is a big kicker. You're going to have access to the recordings for 30 days after the event. So you're going to be receiving some things that the live people aren't going to be able to get. So I know some of y'all are like, man, I wish I was there live. I wish I could hug necks. I wish I could shake hands. But guess what? You guys are going to be getting some special experiences as a part of our virtual as well. So Dane, this is just going to be an awesome weekend.
Yeah, and if you guys are on right now, whether it's on Zoom or Facebook or YouTube for that matter, let us know in the comments, like, what do you think? What are you hoping to get out of these next 2 hours? Because again, if you are on Facebook and YouTube, we're going to be still streaming. Once it hits 9 o'clock here where we are in North Carolina, we're gonna have a short break, and then it's gonna move to the main stage. So you'll be able to get some of the interactions from what's happening here in person and for our friends who are on Zoom. So enjoy this whole experience, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, as well as everyone who's on Zoom. Let us know in the comments what you're hoping to get out of this. Again, sometimes you don't have to expect anything when coming to a space in person or virtually. When I came here last year, I didn't know what anything was going to be about because I had just met Tamara. I just got plugged into some of the things going on, and God showed up in so many amazing ways. So we're really excited to see what's going to happen in our lives as well as the lives of those of you on the virtual side too. So let us know in the comments, what are you hoping to get out? Are you going to join us for the whole time? I did see a comment that we have some people who are already upgraded in the Zoom, coming, people eating breakfast, things that are going on. I know it's early, especially on the everyone in the Pacific Standard Time and Mountain Standard Time. So we are excited to have you here, and let's just keep this going.
Yes, I'm just thinking about all my people on the West Coast. I know y'all are just waking up. Y'all better get y'all coffee pots ready. Okay, get your coffee pots ready. Do what you got to do. I know. I bet you there's someone right now on the other side of the camera. You got your hair all jacked up right now. I bet you there's someone who's still in their pajamas on the camera, on the other side of that camera right now. Guess what? I'm trying to see all that. I'm trying to see all of that. We want to do real life with you. Hey, we're family around here. Okay, for the next 2 days. Hey, if we're already family in Christ, hey, we can be family here too, right? So we're excited about what's about to come. There are big things that you're going to have access to as a part of our virtual event. Y'all, Dane, let me just ask you this, man. So we came here from Arizona. We literally just met like about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
About a year ago, could you have imagined that we would be right here, right now, speaking to people who are virtual all over the place, marketplace ministers, equipping people who are ready to go? Could you have imagined that?
Absolutely not. You know, I think back to that story so many times because we got connected through social media. Josiah reached out to me on Instagram. This was over a year ago. And he was like, "You're local to Arizona? Like, do you want to grab coffee?" Not knowing who he is, I said, "Yeah, I'd love to meet someone else." And he ended up being someone who was making content on social media. And remember, if you look at our social medias, we started 3 years ago from just a prompting from the Lord to share our faith. God can show up in so many ways in your life if you just stay obedient to the call. So getting to meet you, and then we started doing some live streams together, and a relationship was formed with someone who I had so much in common with, because I didn't know anyone who was doing what I did when I started in 2020. And in meeting you, it was something that the Lord brought into my life to say, hey, this is someone who's going through it with you. This is someone who can pray with you. This is someone who can talk about the ups and downs and all the difficulties that come with any type of thing that you are putting out there in the world. You're going to need fellowship. It is so important. And then we get to do this now, which is incredible looking back, and I'm so excited about.
Yeah, and that you bring up a really great point. You know, going on this journey, being an entrepreneur, being in the marketplace can be a scary thing, can be a challenging thing, can be actually even a lonely thing as you climb this mountain. There is nothing better than to be able to do it with another person, right? To find another person who is in the trenches with you, who understands the challenges, who look at you from a standpoint of you are another gift, an image bearer of God who's in the space. And so to be able to do this with you, Dane, is just awesome. Like, we can just continue to reflect back of all of the different things. Now, Dane and I, we have things that are completely separate from one another, but to find the commonalities of what we're doing in the marketplace, to find that friend, to find that brother, that sister who's going to be with you on the journey is incredibly critical.
And to that point too, Josiah is a brother in Christ, someone I can meet with, fellowship with in person. You might be virtually saying, well, I don't have that because I'm virtual. I have so many brothers and sisters in Christ that I've met completely virtually that I get to plug into, get to hang out with every single day. I consider everyone who comes to my live streams on Facebook and YouTube brothers and sisters in Christ, people who constantly show up, people who want to get around believers, dive into the word, talk about our faith, and pray for one another. So wherever you are, you can find brothers and sisters in Christ. Just understand sometimes God is more concerned in you getting a little bit uncomfortable for him to move in your life in great, magnificent ways. So again, be expectant for great things to happen. If you feel prompted to reach out to someone, please go ahead and do that. You never know the relationship that can be formed from simply saying hi.
That's right. And we are just about 8 minutes away from our kickoff, y'all. We've been here for about 52 minutes and literally, not even kidding, I'm just anxiously awaiting what's going to happen when we kick this thing off. I can't even begin to tell you the incredible things that are happening in this room, but for you virtually, you guys are getting a special piece of this, a special perspective of what's happening. And I also can't wait to see more of you guys move along the journey with us. We want to invite you. Hey, if you enjoy what's happening from 9 a.m. Pacific or Eastern Standard Time to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we want to invite you. Hey, upgrade now. Okay. We want to have you guys come along with us the entire time. All right. So we're excited of what's to come. Y'all, we are live, right? We are live. This is live and in action. We get to get a peek into your living rooms or your virtual offices. So I know there's probably somebody right now who's just making their bed right now.
Oh, 100%. It's amazing to see, but it also just reminds me of how technology, although sometimes can be used for evil, we need to be using it for good as believers. You can be sharing your testimony on social media. You can be taking a picture, whether you're in bed or when you're in front of your computer, and tagging the Founder Collective on Instagram to let your friends know that you're getting involved in something. And you're also sharing with people what is important to you.
Oh, that brings up a big reminder, y'all. If you are joining us virtually, so this entire weekend, we're going to be asking those who are live to be taking pictures, video, all of those things. Here's what I want y'all to do. If you are joining us virtually right now, I want you to grab your cameras, right? I want you to grab your camera and I want you to take a selfie of yourself at your workspace, literally, whatever that looks like, your computer, your phone, wherever you're at. We want you to take a selfie real quick and we want you to post it on your social medias, on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever social media you're on right now. And we want you to tag hashtag FounderCon 2023. And we want to be able to have you guys join us in the action. That hashtag is going to blow up this weekend. We'd love to see what's happening out in the virtual world so we can communicate with those who are live. We're going to inform everybody who's live what's happening behind the scenes. And this is going to be awesome.
And if you guys are watching on YouTube or Facebook, as well as everyone in the Zoom, take notes, right? Get a pad of paper and just be ready as we get ready to go over to main stage to just write down everything that speaks to you, write down just the different things that the speakers are saying. It is going to help. Just be there and be ready. We'd love to have you, obviously, for the whole thing, but be here. Be here. Turn off the other electronics. Be here for the next 2 hours. And let's just get into it.
Yes, hashtag FounderCon. Hashtag FounderCon 2023. We want to post that online. Let's blow this thing up, y'all. We're counting down.
Josiah, I have to know, because you asked me, what are you most excited about for the virtual experience as well as just the conference in general?
Okay, here for the virtual. This is what I'm most excited about with the virtual. I'm so excited to be able to interact with all of you guys who are out there right now. But I'm also really excited for today's speaker, Marcus Black. I followed Marcus Black on Clubhouse when that thing first launched, and that man was blowing up. There was just something dynamic about him, and there was something special about him. And then all of a sudden, out of what seems like nowhere, he just blew up. Right? Yeah. And here's what's crazy too. So when we started with one another, y'all, I seen Dane doing his thing on social media. And when I first met him, I thought that he was like the expert in everything, right? But what was so cool, this is so cool. It's so awesome to watch somebody start from the ground up and to watch God bless their life in magnificent ways. I've seen that in you. I've seen God do that in the lives of so many who are around me, but also to see it in somebody like Marcus Black. I'm super excited. He's going to be joining us today after lunch. So that's going to be awesome. I'm really excited too about this, to be in the room. And this is probably the thread that we've heard for each and every single person that we've interviewed over the course of this last almost hour, is that we get an opportunity to be in the same room with people who are on a elevated mission to spread the gospel through the things that we do. Spirit-filled people who are out there to do God's work. That's what I'm most excited about. It don't get no better than that.
I love that, brother. And we are so excited. We are just a few minutes away from plugging into the main stage. So we're going to go to a countdown timer. You can get up, go to the bathroom if you need, grab your cup of coffee, get a little bite to eat, and then we're going to be going. So we will see you back here in just a bit after the main stage stuff ends.
See y'all soon.
Let me take the mic, go on and testify how I was dead and then I came to life. No more living in the dark of night. Now everything's alright. I've been changed. I've been saved. Brand new day. I've been changed. I've been saved. Tell me why would I turn back now? There's no end to the love I found. Future's bright and there ain't no doubt. I've been changed. I've been changed. All my heartbreak fades away. I've been changed. I've been saved. I've been changed. I've been leading. Tell me why would I turn back? There's no end to the love I found. Future right, ain't no doubt. I've been changed. I've been changed. Let me tell you now. I've been changed. Like I think it should. I won't forget it's you who tells the sun to shine. Everybody.
Let's get started right, y'all. Let's get on your feet for the Lord. Come on, for real. Get on your feet. Woo! Come on. This goes all to the Lord. Let's praise Him. Let's start out this day right. That has nothing to do with anyone but Him. Praise God. Woo! I am so grateful for you guys being here. So before I even have you sit, let's just pray. Let's bow our heads. God, we thank you so much for who you are. We thank you that you are a good, good Father. We thank you that you have predestined us to be in this room for the next 2 days, to just commune with you and to commune with your sons and daughters who operate every single day to glorify your name. God, we thank you that we have an opportunity to truly activate day in and day out under your covering. And we just pray for that peace to transcend right now across every single mind, every single heart, every single situation and family that's represented in this room right now. Every business, God, that the emails would stop supernaturally, that the kids' calls and the texts would stop supernaturally, that we would get to be fully present. And we know, God, that you have prepared a good, good feast for us this weekend, and we thank you that we get to just be in your presence. Thank you for being founders. You are founded in him first, and we thank you, God, that you have found me and you have found each of us individually. We praise your name, God. Mighty name, Jesus, amen. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to open with a scripture that is what Founder is all about. You can sit. What Founder is all about, and it is premised on Ephesians 2:19 through 22, and it says, consequently, you are no longer foreigners and aliens. Just so you know, when you walk through those doors, you are officially family, but fellow citizens with God's people and members of God's household, built on the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, with Christ Jesus himself as the chief cornerstone. You have a CEO, so take that hat off this weekend and start asking our CEO, our chief cornerstone, what it is that he wants us to do and how it is that he wants us to receive this weekend. We are joined together and rise to become a holy temple in the Lord, and in him you too are being built together to become, always becoming, a dwelling in which God lives by his Spirit. You are a vessel, my friend, and you have been called and anointed and prepared for such a time as this. And if you haven't taken a barometer to the marketplace recently, it is a place of all places that needs Jesus. Everywhere needs Jesus, but this is a place where people are building their own empires. And I am calling you higher this weekend. He is calling you to know that the empire has already been built. The kingdom has already been established. And all we get to do by honor and praise and glory and joy every single day is to say yes to God. And so I am excited for what is about to happen. I have been really just on my knees so many times about who is going to be in this room. Your prayers have been heard by God to be here, but I hope that you understand that your seat has been prayed for. And know that you're investing to be here, and we say thank you. I see people's faces from all of the founder cons in the past that were previously known as Grow for God, but now we are officially a nonprofit, and you're going to get to hear all about the evolution of what that looks like here today. And I also see some new faces in the building. Can you raise your hand if this is your first time at Founder? Yeah, let's go. Oh my gosh, welcome. Truly, truly, you're officially family. You're no longer allowed to go anywhere else without us as your brothers and sisters. We are at your back, at your side. We are your Aarons and your hers, and where God has positioned you to be a Moses or a Joshua. And so I am not going to hold the mic any longer because there are so many incredible speakers. And honestly, when I looked through who was coming, every single one of you have something to say. And every single one of you can be and will be center stage at some point. So I just want you to have your heart open. There to be a lot of expectation to what God is going to do because he is going to be here. His presence is already known. I saw healing in the hallway. I saw prayers in the hallway. I saw laughter and joy. And that is not often found out there. And yet out there is where we are called to go. So this is a time for you to be refueled, refreshed, and revived, and to receive. Please receive this weekend. How many of you guys are givers? Giving all the time, all day, every day, even especially through your business. Well, this is a moment for you to truly be a recipient of love, of a recipient of knowledge and wisdom, so that we can go and apply it through our businesses. So without further ado, I get to introduce to you the MCs for the weekend, who are dear, dear friends, and every detail of this conference has been designed for you and with you in mind, and they especially. So much so that the moment the last conference was over, it was one of the first calls my team and I made when we were in the resting phase of coming off of this conference. And we called the one and only Jeannie Snyder. And if you have not had the joy of meeting her yet, you will never forget her. She's got the best fashion sense and glasses to go with it. And she is a genius. Her name, Jeannie. She's the genius of everything that she does. She's a connector. So she will absolutely put you in touch with the person that you're meant to meet this weekend, whether in the room or outside. She has a podcast, and she is a leader of leaders. And that's who you are too. So I knew if I wanted someone to speak in to the leaders that were going to be here, she would be the divine person to do so. I also get to have my brother in Christ, who is ultimately the OG founder, him and his beautiful bride, Morgan Hart, of what the founder was about 6 years ago. So you're going to hear that evolution story momentarily, but his name is Anthony Hart. You may or may not know him. You'll never forget him, especially the beard. It's so good. All right, so I am going to welcome them to the stage, and I just want you guys to stand on your feet for them because it might be the only moment that their trailer runs, and they deserve all the praise as well. They're going to give it to God. Thank you guys for being here.
You're here. They're here.
You did that walk so elegantly. I come out
Did
here like
I?
a fool. She's a little bit country. I'm a whole lot of rock and roll, right?
I am not country. Take that back.
That's right. You're a little bit of jazz, soft jazz, if
Soft
anything.
Jazz, not soft jazz. What is the deal? Okay, so we start over. We're going back. We're starting over. No,
We're in it to
you're
win it.
here. We're so glad you're here. Do you know why you're? Oh, that's good. You're here.
Wait. I got to do something. I fail to do this miserably on Sundays so often.
We have just begun,
I know.
and you just failed.
I failed. As a pastor, I will keep people standing for 3 hours and then apologize.
Thank you.
Y'all can be seated.
Thank you so much.
Y'all
You
gonna be
are
on your
right.
feet a lot. And I do
That's
that
right.
often. I'll just get in the word and we'll just go and start preaching. And somebody will be looked, usually it's my wife front row.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Sit down.
I forget. Y'all don't have to stand with us the whole time.
Okay, my husband's on the front row, so I don't know who I'm going to get cues from. You.
Okay.
Why are you here? Why did you come to FounderCon?
That is the biggest question you'll be asked
What
all
are you
weekend.
expecting? Do you know what you and God are going to do? in these 2 days, these power pack days? Did you come with an expectation of what could happen in this group? Who do you think they're here to meet?
Mm, that's a big question, right?
It is a big
I want
question.
I want you to answer that question. I'm a big testimonial person. How did you get here?
Okay, 2 years ago, I came to Tamara's version of this conference 2 years ago. It is weird for me. Say I'm a professional speaker and MC, and my husband always makes fun of me because he's like, "Okay, now I don't even ask, did you meet someone that you ran into that you knew from somewhere? I know you did." So he says that, and he said, "You're going to what?" And I said, "I don't know. I'm just going to a conference." He goes, "And why?" I'm like, "I'm not sure, but I know I'm supposed to be there." And I knew in my heart I needed to be at that conference. I knew no one. Raise your hand if you know no one here or you knew no one here before you walked in this door today. Okay, do you see those hands? I can't really see them. Can you see those hands? Okay. That means you're going to meet someone amazing. But I went to this first conference, walking in that door and realizing I knew no one. And the first people that I met were Tamara's team. And all of a sudden, I felt at home. All of a sudden, I knew that I was coming expecting something big. And I knew that God had led me there. And I knew it was some strange conference about faith and business. And how does that work without being cheesy? And when I walked in that room, I knew I was in the right spot. And it made me expect. I hope you're in that seat today because we're up here, but you're the ones on the stage.
I'll tell you this. This started in a living room. What we thought was going to be just another church, as God directed us to step out and do something different, we did it the way we had always known. I'm a pastor's son, so I know how to do church, right? I remember us having the 3 worship songs. If you're in church any amount of time, the 3 worship songs, it's standard. And then the guy gets up and says something. But slowly God began to do and undo some things. Through time, through 6 years, this is the culmination of what that moment came to be. When God said, I didn't want just another church, I needed a home, I needed a table. If there's anything that you need to walk away from today, tomorrow, this weekend, knowing this is not a stage moment, it's a table moment. I want everybody to stand real quick because the one question you have is who is going to impact my life the most this weekend? I want you to put your hand right here. This is the person who will impact you the most after you walk away this weekend. Somebody's going to say something that's going to spark something in you. But you know what? It's just a spark unless you take it and run with it. Do something with it. Guess what? You're also exactly the person sitting at your table that somebody needs to hear from. You have a voice. You have value. So this is the table moment for you. When you sit down, converse. When you're in the hallway, converse. Jeannie,
Yes,
we met in the hallway in that conference.
we did. I walked in that room not knowing anyone. Are you going to
You
let
can
them
be
sit?
seated again.
Yeah,
See?
okay.
Pastor moment.
See, you got to watch him. He's going to let, and you now you're like going to have to, pat your head and rub your stomach or something
Thank
soon.
you, my sister
Okay,
wife here.
we're good. So I walked in this room not knowing anyone, and one of the first 5 people I met was this guy.
Sheesh.
Okay, what do you feel? You're in a hallway with this guy. And I'm like, so you're here, I'm here. And we do look a lot alike. This is actually what we look like.
I'm
This
not
is
her stunt double.
not Comic-Con. This is FounderCon. Okay, got it? These are actual, this is what we look like in the street.
Yeah, I'm sad to say
Okay.
that.
So I walked up. I don't know who this guy is. And we start a conversation. And I say, well, what are you doing here? And he doesn't really tell me. He doesn't tell me he's a pastor. And he doesn't tell me he's Tamara's pastor.
That's generally the last thing I lead with because I love when to say, you're a pastor?
Yeah, and I didn't do that. I was already looking at him funny, so he didn't have to say that. And so we're talking, we're laughing, and we're chatting, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if cool people like this are here, then maybe I'll stay. Maybe I'll take my seat at the table. So I go back and I keep talking to Anthony. And then all of a sudden in the next session, of course, I know no one except these big names that I know are going to be talking. All of a sudden, I see Tamara going, yeah, you can. He's going, no, yeah. And he's on the stage now in a panel. I'm like, oh, he didn't even tell me he's one of the speakers. Then he didn't tell me he was Tamara's pastor. Then he didn't tell me he was kind of running the show. And then later that day, I'm standing outside. Remember, I know no one. This is a really weird spot for me. Do I go eat by myself tonight? Or do I go eat with some weird people I don't know? What do you think I chose? A, sit by myself at a restaurant, which I don't mind. Or B, sit with weird people. B. All right, I want to engage you to think about sitting with some weird people at your table now, and also when we give you time to go on your own for dinner tonight, and at lunch, and during worship, all of the things. So I go up to this guy and I said, well, y'all are going to dinner? I don't know he's Tamara's husband.
No, not Tamara. Oh, Gary.
Yes. You're not Tamara's
I'm not
husband?
Tamara's
I'm your
husband.
sister wife, Morgan? Okay, we
I
got to
have so
keep
many
them
sister
straight.
wives.
Yes, exactly. So we go to this restaurant. They don't have room for us, so they said, well, we've got a back room, and it's a vault. It's a vault, literally a bank vault. We go in the vault. Guess who's there? Him.
Said she wanted to eat with weird.
Yeah. So all these people are in that vault, and in that vault, catapulted. It was my vault for what happened from not knowing anyone 2 years ago to having the really amazing opportunity to get to talk with you here. And this guy.
We have
So
you
that's
for
what can happen in just a little bit of time. Think about the weird people who you're going to sit with at your table.
we have you as a captive audience for the next I'm trying to do some quick math in my head till 5 o'clock. You're going to have moments where you can get out of your chairs. We have to do the actual things. There's things we have to say. We could just sit up here and banter for a while because that's just who we are. But there are some things we have to say. The first is one, and the most important thing, every moment this weekend is yours to be had. Dinner tonight, it's not on the schedule. Find somebody new to eat with.
Weird people.
Break bread with weird people. I always say this, surround yourself with people who don't look like you, act like you, sound like you, because that's the moment you get access to a perspective you don't have. Y'all better start writing this stuff down. I'm going to drop these things all day long.
Okay, so get your Anthony Jim tablet out and start writing down those gems. You ready?
I told Tamara, you're going to give me the mic all day long? Oh,
That's
this
why
is
I'm
gonna be
here.
fun.
I'm to help so that he doesn't, go off road. Well,
So we're going to, with the schedule today, we're going to have a lot of things going on. As you can see, where's the download now? We need the app. Everybody needs to know this first and foremost. There is an app, right? We are in
fill out your phone.
the 21st century. There's an app for everything, right?
There is.
Literally an app for everything. So
He did not coin that phrase.
no. So if you don't have this app yet, I want to encourage you at your table, also on the screen, you can get this app. It's going to give you access to speakers, who they are, what they talk about, where they're from, how you can connect with them. It's going to give you access to our schedule up to date. I don't think anything changes, but if it does, if we call an audible, Omaha, if you're not a football person, you don't get that. Stick with me. There will be moments of change. If there are, then we'll update that schedule. Also, we want you to know, first and foremost, that there are no bathroom experiences here. We're not going to take time to let everybody go to the bathroom. So we're going to be big
I was about to
boys
say,
and
I didn't
girls.
know what that meant. I was waiting. I was waiting.
Stephen did say there's cameras in every
I
portion
sh-
of this building.
Except
not
the
bathrooms.
restroom. Yes.
Not
I might need to take this one from you. I don't know where you're going with this. I'm scared.
No, we want you to let, we're big boys and girls. If you have to use the bathroom, go use the bathroom. Be dismissed, go, and you come
There is
right
a
back
rule.
in.
There's a rule.
There's a rule.
You have to come back.
You have to
Okay.
come back.
You have to come back.
That's right.
All right.
So download the app first.
All right. So while you've got your phones out and you're downloading the app, we also want you to take pictures, do posts
With weird people.
with weird people. Yes. And hashtag FounderCon 2023.
If you don't see a weird person at your table,
It's up on the
I have
screen.
news for you. You're the weird person at your table.
That's right. Hashtag FounderCon 2023, or the @ is the FounderCon,
The founder.
right? All right. So you're going to be making posts. You're going to be putting pictures up of weird people. You're going to be putting pictures of yourself. You're going to be putting posts. You're going to be writing down the Anthony gems and sending them out to the airwaves, right? Okay, wait. I did not get an answer on that. Are you going to be listening to the gems that Anthony puts down and sending them out to people?
I have
That
news
was
for
so
you.
weak.
There's
Did you
going to
hear
be
it?
so
Did you
many
hear
more
it?
bigger gems than mine.
Okay. Are you going to put down other people's nuggets that they give us during the days? Okay,
There we
that we get a good scream for. Okay.
Hey, I have something fresh for us.
Yes.
Everybody look at these screens on the wall. Who is this? I see Rachel Rector. That's my girl,
Yes, she
757 VA
is.
in the house.
Is he
These-
Anthony McNeil?
These people are joining us virtually. This is exciting. You get to see the people who are sitting in their homes. Hey, did you not do your laundry? I'm just kidding. It's not behind you. Don't look. These are people who could not make it with us, but guess what? We are
No,
giving
no,
them
they're with us.
in person.
They're with us. They're just not in this room physically,
100%.
but they're in this room virtually. All right, on 1, 2, 3, don't tell them. 1, 2, 3, I want you to yell and scream and welcome them and wave at our virtual audience. Okay, don't tell them. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, virtual folks, are you ready? Come on camera if you can, and let's say hello to the folks in the room. All right, virtual. All right, Rachel, and I can't see who that is. Who's up? Who else is up there? Can they talk back to us?
No.
Okay.
But they
All
can
right, and
just
1, 2,
wave.
3. We want you to wave to the folks in the room, and they're going to wave back. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for the sound effects. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing all day long. You're going to be giving sound effects for the folks in the virtual room.
One other thing we do want to tell to our virtual audience, for right now until 11 o'clock, it is free. They are on this, watching this for free. You will have an opportunity to sign up if you have not already purchased your ticket. For the next 3 hours, we're giving you free content to let you know what's going on around you. If you've made that decision, there is, in the details of that chat, there is a place where you can connect and buy your ticket now to get access over the next 2 days, but also you get 30 days of this recording as well that you can watch and share with people. So we want you to know that if you're here for free for the first 3 hours, we hope that we do something, say something, impact you, don't push you away.
That's right.
That you stick around and stay with us. There's also a lot of fun things that you'll find within the context of this that you can give fire emojis, you can give heart emojis, and guess what? When somebody's really dropping some stuff, those emojis are going to come up on the screen back here. So when somebody's dropping some fire and you see that,
Practice it. You're going to see them in the back here. All right, so we want to make sure that you are staying with us the whole 2 days. Do you think it would be worth it for the Zoom crowd to stay with us the whole 2 days? Okay, for $97, you can do that. So go into the details now and buy that now. And you know what else we can do on our phones?
I want to know.
What have you got on your tables? We have a lot of amazing sponsors you're going to hear about. Have you looked at what's on your tables? You got to kind of look in the dark, right? Look what's on your tables. In your packages, you have a bump card. Do you see it?
It's
you
only
have
awkward if you don't
you
know what we're
have
talking
a
about.
bump card. Okay. Do you have a bump card? One
It
of our
looks like
sponsors.
This.
All right, be pulling that out. One of our sponsors is LFI, and we would like to have them speak to you right now. They're going to tell you a little bit about the magic bump card. We can run that video, please.
We all know that people do business with the people they know, like, and trust. So as an entrepreneur or small business owner, how do you make a memorable first impression? How do you foster that relationship to make it profitable? And how do you leverage technology to maximize your time and effectiveness? These questions are critical to the success of your business. Today, 9 out of 10 new businesses will fail. Business leaders need the right tools if they want to succeed, especially as the landscape of small business continues to change. What if there was a tool that could help you promote your business in this changing landscape? A tool that could give you understandable, quantifiable data to help you succeed. Imagine a simple mobile app where you can market yourself and grow your business directly from your smartphone. An app that gives you the ability to find more customers, build better relationships, and ultimately create more sales. Introducing Shuffle. With Shuffle, you're able to share your message with anyone, create an engaging experience, and instantly stand out to your prospective customers. Easily share your products and services in a meaningful way and manage all of your professional relationships with a simple swipe of your finger. Plus, Shuffle's key analytics take out all the guesswork. Measure prospect engagement, see who you've interacted with, and receive follow-up reminders so no one falls through the cracks. If you're ready to share your message, build profitable relationships, and grow your business, then try Shuffle today. I promise you'll be glad you did.
Let's hear it for our sponsor, LFI. All right, did you find your little card? All right, we want you to be actually working on that, not during the keynotes though, but working on that so that you can meet your weird people, right? And keep them in your phone. Anything else about the?
Well, the big thing
my
is
card?
it's not hard. You'll get on
We
there.
did it.
you'll
Actually,
log
we
in.
did it.
I'll show you real quick.
Oh wait.
Boom, and you'll get a little notification on your phone. You click on it, and now instantly
I
you
can
know
see
who I
Anthony
am.
Hart.
Isn't he beautiful?
He is beautiful.
So take the time, fill that out.
He is
You
beautiful.
can use this over the next 2 days. You don't have to carry your business cards around anymore. You can carry this little QR code because we live in the land of QR codes and give your information.
We
out.
forgot the disclaimer.
What's the disclaimer?
This is a name tag lanyard free venue.
Oh,
Are you excited? I don't think you got the heaviness of that. This is a name tag lanyard free venue. You don't have to wear a name tag.
it doesn't have to be
Okay.
awkward. You don't
And
have
you
to
don't have to
stare
walk up and go, well, hey, Anthony. You know how that happens? People just stare there. They don't stare here.
That's
We
why I
want you to
spend all day
have,
sucking
as
in.
it said, relationships and share your message. That's what this week is about. We have started with Tamara. This is her amazing vision. And what we envisioned was your being here.
Are you
You're
ready?
sitting here right now.
Are you ready to get going?
I'm ready to get going.
Are you ready
to
for the
get going?
first speaker? Let's go.
All right. Our first speaker today is a leadership coach. He is a visionary. He is a business mentor. I want you to meet in just a few minutes Rudy Ricksteins. Now, Rudy is not from around here, and you're going to know that. He is from the South, so he and I have a little bit in common. But that is not why he's here. He leads people, has a podcast, but that is not why he is here. He has hung out and has been recognized and honored with the likes of Tony Robbins and Deepak Chopra. But that is not why he is here at FounderCon. He is a founder of businesses. He is a successful business person and entrepreneur. But that's not the only reason he's here. Rudy is here because he is real. Rudy, I got to meet last night. And so when I started talking to him, I said, what would you like me to say when we introduce you? Because we've got his bio and you have his bio. He is an amazing guy. And what he wanted me to tell you is the reason he's here is because his mission is to help others drop their limiting beliefs and serve in the way that only you can serve. Anthony asked you, who are you here for? I want you to soak up everything that Rudy says. Now think about it. This is not that he just bound into this. When he was young, his teacher put a dunce cap on him and told him he was stupid. He lived with that for a long time, all the way till he got super successful later in life, and he sat one day and thought he was the king. What he told me last night was 50% of his life so far has been focused on things that he realized didn't matter. And he now knows who to serve and how to serve. And he helps others to do that in the same way. He figured out that neither hat fit. And now he's here to help you become the person that you can be. He now knows who he serves. He now knows how God helps each of us to also be real. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the why, is the reason he is here. I would like to invite you to help Anthony and me welcome to the stage our first speaker, Rudy Ricksteins.
Let's go.
All righty. Good morning, FounderCon. Can I hear you? Are you ready to have a thing? Woo! I am ready. I have done everything in my power to prepare for this moment right here today, and I want to make sure that you are ready for the moment that you're about to have. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in the room. I want to acknowledge that you are in the room. Whether you purchased a ticket to get into this room, whether you are watching online virtually, you have made a powerful declaration, a declaration for you and for your life. And before we go anywhere, I want to start by acknowledging you. I want to start by acknowledging that powerful declaration that you have made. That every single seemingly insignificant moment that has transpired in your entire life has brought you to this moment right here, right now. And who you get to become is the collective total of every single moment that has transpired. And I want to make sure that today I can serve you in the highest and the greatest way. But in order for us to be able to do that, we need to get a few vantage points. And so what I'm going to ask of each and every single one of you in a few moments' time is to acknowledge that you are in the room, that you have invested in you, that you are seeking additional information. Because I believe that we each have this burning desire that is growing within us. And you have acknowledged that desire that says, I want to have, I want to be, I want to do, and I want to achieve more in my life. And what I would like you to do right now is to stand, and I want you to acknowledge yourself. And I want you to give yourself a round of applause. I want you to give yourself, not yet, no, let's set the stage. I want you to celebrate you like no one has ever celebrated you before, because every single thing that you have ever gone through, the struggles, the pains, the trials, the tribulations, the successes, and all the failings forward, they brought you to right here, right now. I believe that how you celebrate you is how you teach other people to celebrate you. How you love you is how you teach other people to love you. And you're going to love you and celebrate you now like no one has ever celebrated you before, because you are worth it. 1, 2, 3. FounderCon, celebrate you! Woo! Oh my gosh, good morning, and good morning. Please take a seat. Man, I am so excited to be here, and I hope that you are equally as excited. Man, my name is Rudy Ricksteins, and have I intended something so powerful right here this morning. I believe that every time I'm about to do something, I like to set an intention for who it is and what it is and how it is I'm going to be able to do something. And I want to let you in on that intention this morning. I have set the intention to create a profound shift in each and every single one of you today. My goal is to come up here today and to teach you something simple that you can take and apply into your life each and every single day, that if applied is going to create the most profound shift for you in your life. And so I have done everything in my power to be prepared to do that for you here today. And my hope is that today you're going to sit and take notes and be active and participate. Because you see, the thing is, if you don't know what's in it for you, you're just going to listen. But I don't want you to just listen today. I want you to participate. I want you to go to the furthest depths of what it is that we're going to be doing here today, so that you can maximize the potential of what's sitting here in front of you. And so I want to remind you that you have everything to gain in this moment, everything to gain, and you have absolutely nothing to lose. But the more you go into this, the more you're going to get out of it. If you are committed to your highest and greatest growth and development, can I ask you to say, I am? Yes, you are. We're going to go through a few series this morning of how I'm going to be able to support you in creating a potential shift in your life. And in addition to supporting you with a tool, a tip, a trick, a hack that you can take home and apply, my goal or intention is to change your vantage point. Because if you change the way you're looking at the world, we all know the world around you is going to be able to change. Can I ask you by show of hands, how many of you sitting in this room right here, right now, how many of you sitting in this room have this knowing that there is something so great that you need to do? There's something that you want to have, something you want to be, something that you want to achieve, but you haven't achieved it yet. Can you show me by show of hands, how many of you have that burning desire? Because I'm going to tell you, I've never met a person on the planet who doesn't have this knowing that there is something in them that they want to do. There's this thing that they want to go out and achieve. But so many of us are caught in a cycle of wanting to have something, wanting to be something, wanting to do something, but we're reminded we're here, but what we really want is going to be over there. And when we want something so desperately, we wake up every day and we know that that desire is there for us, but we're reminded we don't have the money, or we don't have the love, or we don't have the platform, or we don't have the confidence, or we don't have the courage. Immediately that brings us into a place where we don't feel worthy of the thing that we want to have, that we want to be, the thing that we want to do. You heard a little bit of my story this morning of walking into my first classroom and the teacher calling me stupid and put me on a chair and gave me a dancer's hat, and I felt stupid. I showed up every single day in my school career thinking, Rudy's stupid, because an authority figure at 6 years old told me I was stupid. At 16 years old, I was sitting in school in a gymnasium, and a teacher invited a speaker to come up on stage. The speaker walked up onto the stage, blue pinstripe suit. I will never forget, the man looked so crisp, so clean. And the minute he took that microphone, it was like the entire room went dark. All the kids left, the teachers left, the lights went out. It was him, it was me, it was him, and it was me. And God tapped me on the shoulder. Tap, tap, tap. Rudy, that is what you will do with your life. Man, and every fiber of my body and being was electrified. I sat in that room thinking, oh my gosh, this is what I am here to do. And I knew it with clarity at 16 years old. This is my life. At the end of that presentation, the lights came back on, the kids came back in. They were always there, but my awareness to them came back. I turned around to my friends and I was like, wasn't that incredible? And they were like, yeah, dude, whatever. Like, let's go play soccer outside. They had no movement, no change, but I was forever irrevocably changed in that moment. But that's not my story, you see, because at 16, I knew who I was. At 16, I was given a glimpse as to who I'm going to be and what I'm going to achieve. But the real story is, it took me 20 years from that day for me to take my first stage. It took me 20 years to believe that what I had to say was worthy of somebody else's time. I thought I first needed to do something to prove that I was good enough. Well, you remember, I was stupid, so I had to make money. So I went out to make as much money as I humanly possibly could so that everybody could see I was successful. Because if I was successful, that meant I had to be smart. And if I had money and I had a nice car and I had a nice house and I had the trophy girlfriend and I had the designer jeans, then people would respect me. But here's the thing, I didn't respect me. I didn't value me. I didn't appreciate me. And so nobody else did. Until one day, I had a moment where I decided to start stacking evidence of who I am, what it is I've already achieved. I started looking at all of the moments that had transpired in my life that uniquely prepared me to be who it is that I am today and what I came here to do. I asked you a few moments ago, do you have a desire in you to have, to be, to do, to achieve something? Because I'm going to tell you now that that desire did not come from you. It was given to you. That desire is yours, that you have to bring out and into the world. It is your obligation to make that destiny come. Success, fame, fortune, all of these things, they're okay if they come at the benefit of impacting people around you. And if you have a dream or a desire or a goal to have, to be, to do, that was given to you by a force so big, so bold, so powerful that it perfectly and divinely landed that on you, on your heart, for you to bring it out and into the world. And your responsibility is to bring that out. And that when you do, that's where you're going to achieve the greatest levels of joy, fulfillment, and freedom and exhilaration that you could ever possibly imagine for yourself and for your life. But unfortunately, for so many of us, what we want is over there, but we're reminded we're over here. We want to have, but we don't have enough money. We want to love, but we don't have any loving people in our life. We want freedom, but we're committed to a day job. In every moment, we're reminded again and again and again of who we are and not being reinforced as to who it is that we want to be. I want to give you a vantage point today because I believe in order for you to achieve anything in your life, you need to know a few things. One, you need to know, where have you been? What has happened to you? Who are you right now and how are you showing up in your everyday? And then you need to know where it is you want to go. Who do you want to be? And more importantly to me, how do you want to feel when you get there? And so we're going to focus on that today. And I'm going to give you 3 vantage points and support you and be able to create a shift so that you can already feel the final expression of what it would feel like to happen to be you. Because I'm going to tell you now that I walk around every single day perfectly, carefully, calculatedly planning what it is my life is going to look like. You can either live a life by default or you can design a life that you want to live. You can live a life that you want to have every day and celebrate it and stack success that you're doing it over and over and over again. I'm a high-performance coach. I go to organizations all day, every single day, and I'm going to tell you now that about 98% of people on the planet are living a life by default. They walk into a room and they react to that room. They react to their life. You were created to create. Your responsibility is to create the most powerful and magnificent life that you can live. And that by living that life, you are teaching other people through the greatest way to teach, and that is through demonstration of what does it look like to live an abundant, beautiful, joyful life, where you were fulfilled and you were giving selflessly of yourself every day in every single way. You were created with the power and the potential to create anything.
And the life that you are living right now is because you think that what you have is what you are worthy of having. And what you don't have is because you don't believe that you're worthy of having it. And that more people believe that what they want is possible. They just don't believe that it's possible for them. And today I want to bridge that gap for you. Because if I can help any one person in this room shorten the gap of knowing who they are and who they want to be and getting there, so you don't have to spend 20 years of feeling unfulfilled, 20 years of not feeling good enough, 20 years of, again, walking around being reminded you're here, but you really just want to be there. And so if you're open to it, I would love to give you that vantage point. If you're open to having an experience here this morning, and if you're open to going full out, and if you're open to expressing the highest and the greatest potential of who you are and who you've come here to be, I want to hear you say, I am. I'm going to ask you to do something now, and as silly as it sounds, I want you to follow along. Can I ask you to please sit with your butt into the back of your chair? I want you to elongate your spine, and I want you to close your eyes. I want you to take a really deep breath in. And as you take in a deep breath, I want you to imagine you are drawing in clear, bright, white light into your body. This white light represents the freedom and the exhilaration and the joy and the fulfillment that you seek. And as you take a deep breath out, I want you to release all stress, all fear, all anxiety, all feelings that you've accumulated over the course of your life of unfulfillment or unworthiness, and release that from your body. With every new deep breath in, I want you to draw more and more and more of the clear, bright, white light into you. I want you to feel your body relaxing, responding to every intentional inhalation in and every exhalation that releases more and more and more of the stress that is built and accumulated in your body. And as you feel this clear, bright, white light drawing into your body and you becoming more calm, more still, you are connecting to you. You are connecting to you, void of outside emotion. You, void of anybody else's thoughts or feelings or opinions. You are connected to you in this moment. Enjoy the feeling of what does it feel like to be you. And take another deep breath in, filling all three parts of your diaphragm. Your lungs, your rib cage, and your abdomen. And with a final breath out, I want you to release all stress, all fear, all anxiety. Picture this dark black light leaving your body and becoming more and more calm, more and more still. In a moment, we're going to go on a journey. This is a journey as an observer. You are simply watching the scene unfold in front of you. You are not attached to the scene. You simply observe the scene. I want you to take a deep breath in, and this time imagine that you are floating up, and above your body, floating up, and out of the room. I want you to imagine you are looking down at you, at your life, at who you've been. And on the count of 3, I'm going to move you forward in time. We're going to move you to a potential future reality. Not your future reality, just a future potential reality. On the count of 3, I want you to go to the last day of your life. 1, 2, 3. As you look down at the scene, you are surrounded by people around you. You're calm, you're relaxed, but you're looking at your life, the totality of who you've been. And nothing in your life changed. The thing that you wanted still feels the way that it always felt. It was this thing that you wanted to have, this thing you wanted to be, this thing you wanted to do. You're sitting with that feeling of unfulfillment, regret, wishing, longing, yearning. What was that thing that you wish you did? And what would it feel like to have lived your entire life, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 more years, never having achieved that? I want you to name that emotion for you now. I want you to rise above that scene, unattached to that outcome, knowing that that is simply just a vantage point. And on the count of 3, I'm going to move you to a completely different time, different space. And this time we're going to move 5 years into the future from today. 5 years into the future from today. Except this one is an empowering state. This one, you have achieved every single thing that you have ever wanted to have, to be, to do. You are living your life, living your purpose. You are feeling so joyful, so fulfilled, so courageous, so abundant, so powerful, connected to the flow and the force of the universe. On the count of 3, I want you to go to that scene. 1, 2, 3. I want you to see the people around you. Where are you? Who are you? How are you showing up? What does it feel like to be you, living this final expression of you, achieving everything that you want to have in your life? What does it feel like to be in your body? How do you walk around? How do you show up? How do you interact? What are you wearing? Who are you talking to? We're going to take one more journey. In this journey, I'm going to ask you to take that goal, that dream, or that desire that you have always had for yourself and for your life. And I want you to make that goal, that dream, that desire 10 times bigger than you ever imagined it possible. On the count of 3, I want you to make it 10 times bigger. 1, 2, 3. 10 times bigger. You are in awe of what you have achieved. You are so fulfilled, so grateful, so abundant. You walk around each and every single day feeling like your feet don't even touch the floor. You are magnetizing this incredible magnificence of your life, that every single moment seems to be this divine moment tapped into another, connected to the tapestry of everything. And you are just so grateful, so joyful. You wake up in the morning so excited to be you, just in awe and inspired by what is going on in your life. When you go to bed at night, you think of every single person that you've touched. You couldn't be happier. Can you feel that right now? Without opening your eyes, I want you to come back to the room, keeping your eyes closed. I want you to slowly drift back into this time, into this space, back into this room. But I want you to name the emotion of what it felt like for you to tap into and connect to the highest and the greatest expression of you, achieving 10 times your potential. What does that feel like? And can you name that emotion? Were you proud? Were you joyful? Were you excited? Were you in awe? Were you in love? Were you abundant, healthy? Name one single emotion, and then I want you to take your right hand, index finger, and thumb, and I want you to squeeze the two of them together. Feel that emotion and squeeze your right index finger and thumb together. And as you feel the emotion, squeeze the fingers. Feel the emotion, squeeze the fingers again. This time I want you to feel that emotion 10 times greater than you imagined. Feel the imagery in your mind of what it is that you have done and who you've become. And squeeze those fingers together. And when you are ready, I want you to open your eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a dream and a goal and a desire to have and to be and to do something. And that dream and that goal and that desire is yours to have. And your responsibility, as I said earlier, is to bring that forward out and into the world. But unfortunately, for so many of us, we have been preconditioned to be who we are today based on a formula that was created long before we had the ability to choose or decide for ourselves. The part of me that walked into a room was told, Rudy, you were stupid, formulated a belief pattern that fired a neurological network that said, Rudy, you are unworthy. Rudy, you are not good enough. So when I had a dream or a goal or a desire to have and to be and to do, the very same pathway was fired. The chemicals were dumped into the brain that said, Rudy, it's never going to happen for you because you're not worthy. And what I want to do today is to remind you that you are worthy. You can have, you can be. It is your responsibility to be. But what I want to give you today is the vantage point, because I believe that you can live a life by design. I believe that you can live a life purposefully, carefully, calculated, choosing who it is that you want to be and how you want to be able to show up out and in the world. I take these practices into companies and transform entire organizations. Every single person within the company, because all we do is support people to become more conscious. Every single day when you wake up, your brain is trying to remember who were you yesterday. And it produces the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same chemicals are dumped into your body, reminding you of what it felt like to be you. So today feels like yesterday, the day before, the day before that. And not unless you create a shift or a change in your life, is your life going to change. And when I say you can have and be and do anything, you can, but you have to change where you are accessing information inside your brain. What I did today was remind you that there is a potential for you to live your life never having achieved who it is that you want to be. Going all the way through to the end of your life, feeling the unfulfillment of never achieving that thing that is on your heart. And now you know, who do you want to be? And are you prepared to do something different? Because if you don't create that shift, if you don't create that change, your life is going to feel like that. And now you know what the cost would be to not to be able to do that. But you also have a vantage point of what would it look like to achieve your highest and your greatest potential, and then to create that 10 times bigger than anything that you have ever imagined. And if you can create that shift in your life, in your mind, you can create that shift out and in your reality. And what I want to remind you of today is one of my favorite topics, and that is that you are an energetic being. You have a physical body, the body that I can see right now. You have a mental body that produces the thoughts that then instructs the chemicals in the form of an emotion to be dumped into the body to instruct the body how to respond to the emotional, intellectual information that the brain is interpreting. But then you also have this incredible form of energy that is around you, anywhere from 4 to 15 feet. Your energy is speaking on your behalf every day in every way, and it is bidding on your behalf. And as you walk into a room, people are picking up, what does it feel like to be you? How are you feeling? How are you reacting? How are you responding? So when Rudy walked into a room feeling unworthy, not good enough, people picked that up, but they didn't know it was unworthiness or unfulfillment. They just took that as distrust, because if he doesn't trust himself, he gives off the feeling of distrust. But what happens if you create a moment where you align yourself, your mind, your body to be the person that you came here to be, and your energy is updated, and that energetic field that is around you updates the physical body, because a single thought changes the human biological system. That in the moment of what you just did by going into 2 vantage points, if we brought in the highest EKG equipment, scanned your entire body and looked at your body before and then after you going on an imaginary trip somewhere, your body changed, because your body matched itself to meet the highest vibrational expression of the physical form that's here. Everything in the human reality that we live in all day, every day is comprised of exactly the same thing, and that is atoms. And you can manipulate atoms. When you have a thought, that thought then sends out a chemical impulse out and into the world, and everything has to match to meet that vibrational frequency. When you close your eyes, and you went on a journey today, and you tapped into the reality of what it would feel like to achieving your highest and your greatest expression, and you felt that, and you pulled your 2 fingers together, and you squeezed them. The act of squeezing your index finger and your thumb together connected to an emotion of the expression of you living that purpose, already having achieved it, feeling the end results of that emotional feeling. By doing that, you find a neurological network in your brain saying you've already done it. And if you sat there and you fired that feeling that said that you've already done it, you've already achieved it, the body's already experienced it. And if you've already experienced it, that means you have it. And then you open your eyes, but you're in the same room that you were in when you sat down, except everything in the entire universe had to realign to match you. The room looks the same because it has to look the same. But from this vantage point, when you stand up, everything that's going to happen from that point is going to be different. And your responsibility is to stay tapped into, connected to that feeling that you have. And so if you can in every single moment remember who you are and who you came here to be and who gave you that thing on your heart, and it's your responsibility to bring it out, and you push your fingers together and you feel that emotion, your body is going to chemically induce you again and again and again and again of having it being and already expressing that final thought. You'll notice I didn't say to you, I want you to feel what would it feel like for you to be doing it. I don't want you to be feeling what it would feel like to be doing it. I want to know, how do you feel when you've already done it? When you've gone past, is it going to happen? And you've already experienced it in the totality of who you are. And if you can tap into that feeling, it's going to change your brain. It's going to change where you access information in your brain. It's going to override all of those pathways that were formulated under the age of 7 that told you you're not good enough and children should be seen and not heard. And people who have money are evil. And you're going to start to show up as you, the highest and the greatest expression of who you came here to be. I'm going to tell you, man, I walked around for the longest time not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, always apologizing for being in somebody else's space. Today, I get to walk around every single day knowing who I am and what does it feel like to be me. I know what it feels like to live the highest and the greatest potential of who I am. I go to bed at night and I've got a grin on my face. I think about my kids every night as I lie in bed in honor of who they are and the fact that I get to love them and the life I've created. I look at my wife right before I close my eyes and I'm like, how did I get so lucky? And as I lie there with my eyes closed, I see every single face of every person I came into contact with that day. And I am honored to walk into a room and to be able to impact people and leave a room better than I found it. And the only way that I can do that is when I pour into me first thing in the day, when I connect to me, when I push my fingers together and I create the highest and the greatest expression of what is my day going to look like, what is it going to feel like, and I already tap into that feeling of lying on my bed at the end of the night, closing my eyes and thinking of you. This morning when I woke up at 5 o'clock and I sat for 1.5 hours in meditation. I imagined each and every single one of you today being reminded of the power and the force and the flow and the divinity that is you. And I felt what it would feel like to be sitting in this room. I then came in and I stood in every single corner of the room and in the middle of the room. And I just poured love and gratitude and fulfillment and joy out and into this room so that when you walked into the most beautifully primed space so that you were ready to open your hearts and have an incredible moment, an incredible breakthrough, so that you would be present to this moment, to this day. And so when I go to bed tonight, I already know what that feels like because I already experienced it this morning. And so as I walk out and into my day, I am being met with that success. And that is me living a life by design. That is me perfectly, carefully, calculatedly planning what is it going to look like to have and to be and to do. Do not walk into a room and react to what is happening into that room. Take back your power and create the life that you want to live. And the only way to do that is for you to literally fill your cup every single day. And by filling your cup, I mean tap into the emotion of the end expression of what would it feel like to already have everything that you want. And fill that and fill that and fill that so it pours over and goes into the saucer so every single person in the world that is around you can consume as much as they want of you from your saucer, but never draining from your cup. And I want you to do that every single day in every single way. Because when you do that, and only when you do that, are you prepared to be you. Otherwise, you're walking into a room and responding and reacting to the energy of every other person that is in that room, that is in that space. You were put here with a reason. You were brought here to do something, to have something, to be something. And my hope for you is that you get to tap into and achieve that. Because you're worth it. There isn't a thing you cannot have, cannot be, cannot do, and cannot achieve. You just have to believe. And when you believe in you, you can change everything. Because that power and that force that created you perfectly with every moment, with every seemingly insignificant event that has transpired to bring you to this moment right here, right now. And I'm going to remind you that your life isn't about you, but that your life is about with what you do with what has happened to you to impact the world around you. And that when you do that, you will feel the greatest levels of joy and fulfillment and freedom and expression and expansion and abundance that this incredible universe has to offer. And all of it is going to start with whether or not you believe you are worthy to feel that end result of that emotion, to tap into the parts of your brain that are going to bring that forward so that you can live the highest and the greatest expression of your life. I've left a gift for you. If you're interested, grab a free copy of a book that I wrote called Reset Your Mind and Reset Your Life, and it speaks into the science of the exercise that you did But I just want to hear me say, I want you to hear me say to you, I am so proud of you. I'm proud of you for putting yourself into this room. I'm proud of you for wanting more. And I love you. My name is Rudy Ricksteins. Thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of the 2 days. Thank you.
Are you kidding me? That was just the first moment. How many of y'all enjoyed that? One of the most profound things he said throughout that, I think you have to understand, is we receive information all the time, right? And we are accountable for where we receive it. Do you realize the most maybe hard place to realize the information we receive and give is in front of the mirror? Everything he just shared with you positioned you for today for your mirror moment. To stand in front of that mirror and say, I am bigger, I am better than 3 things. What's been done to me, what's been done for me, and what's been done by me. That's the transition. Just a nugget. Rudy is just the beginning. I cannot wait for all the other speakers. And we're about to dive into something right now. What you're gonna find is you're not just gonna get one person talking. We're gonna get a panel up here, and we're gonna speak about something that I think is profound, and that is relationships and how we thrive in them. 3 words. This is a movement. This is a ministry. And the most important lesson I had to learn was my marriage played a vital part in that. Here we go.
Oh, your love is my delight. Oh, your grace is running.
All right, you guys just saw that this is the Movement, Marriages, and Ministries panel, and we are so excited to be with you. I can't wait to introduce these superhumans, these founders to you, all here with intention and for different reasons, and yet they really, truly could all speak from a different lens to every single concept. So I'm going to give them just a second to say hi, introduce themselves, and say why they're here. Justin and Elise, you guys want to go first?
You go, babe.
Oh, go ahead.
So my name's Justin Rothlinghofer, founder of Own It, a health and wellness coaching company. And the biggest reason that I'm here is really just to pour into everybody. If I was to take a step back and look at myself 5 years ago, I was living a very different life. And it's amazing to see what can happen when you fully submit to what God's calling you to. And when you can step into that powerfully and take ownership of that, life is completely different.
My name is Elise Gollin. I am Justin Rothlinghofer's wife and also co-founder of the business, CEO of Own It Coaching. And I am here for every single one of you. And I'm here because God asked me to be here. I'm so excited to just see what he's going to be doing in this room. The quality and the hearts of every single person here has been truly amazing. And I know God is going to do amazing things.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Alyssa Cardi, and I'm here for friendship and family. And also, I just can't help but feel like the next 2 days are just a culmination of everything that you have walked through the past 9-10 months of this year of faithfully and obediently doing all the things that God's called you to do. And I feel like there's going to be major breakthrough and healing and solutions and all the things that God's setting you up to do coming into this next quarter.
You guys know.
My name is Gary Andrus. I'm here to support to love, to be obedient, to be submissive to the Lord, and just go on these world travels with my wife and pour into everybody. Hallway ministry is what I like to call it. You'll find me in the hallway always finding somebody and just getting on their level and connecting as much as possible. So just being obedient and submissive there, I love it. Yeah, I'm excited for the next 2 days.
Hey, hey, I'm Ashley Weston, owner and designer of Hidden Fruit Jewelry, and I am here to be your cheerleader for Jesus and for business. I want to drop some joy bombs to you, and I just want to encourage you to draw close to the Lord in intimacy and the joy that is possible in your business, the overflow to each other, as well as just feeling that life of fullness with Him.
And I'm Kristen Kingsbury. I am the owner of Get Some Assets, Inc. And my passion and my wisdom is around generational wealth building through real estate. And I'm here because as I look at the world, the one thing that keeps people from being missionaries from God often at the level that they could is the lack of finance. So I'm here to bless you with knowledge about that.
And she's brilliant. So if you need more money in your life, honey, go see Kristen. And yes, she said get some assets. This is a faith-driven conference. I want to talk to Tiffany first because I believe all of us are starting movements of some sort. God has asked you individually to move, and when you move, you often find that you have people following you. Whether you're moving into the light or away, you always create community, and she is an ultimate community builder. Raise your hand if you would like more people to be on your movement with you. Yeah, right. So this is why this panel is so critical, and she is the one that I always go to when I need this information. So Tiff, what would you say is the most foundational premise of building a movement?
Ooh, all right, we're diving into the deep end here. I would say ultimately it's a fruition of everything that God has called you to be. And then community gets to be the thing that comes around and supports those things. And I feel like oftentimes people think of it as the opposite of like, oh my gosh, like I need to do everything that everyone else wants me to be. And then ultimately that's not you fulfilling the God mission that He has on your life. And so it's getting really clear on the things that God has called you to do, and then what you're asking people to partner with you, to build with you, and how they can come alongside of you to support the main thing.
Yeah, that's good. Can you brag about yourself a little bit, because I know you never would, and talk about Gals That Brunch and kind of how that movement was birthed and how fast the Lord has developed it and grown it, and in how many countries and all those things?
Oh gosh, okay. All right, so I was moving around cross country every 2 years. I previously worked in higher education. Every single time I moved to a new city, I'm like, how do you make friends? And what does this look like? And I'd go get involved into a local church. I'd go join a softball team. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And what I didn't realize at the time is how natural we have systems built into around us through family units, school units, going to college, your first jobs. And when all those things are removed, like, what does it look like? Who are you in the process? And it took me probably close to 2 years to feel like when I did my first big cross-country move to like feel settled, to feel like I had my people. And then I found out my work was moving me again, and I was like, not again. Like, what is this gonna look like? And I just felt like the Lord was like, Tiffany, it's time for you to start inviting people to your table versus waiting around for someone else to invite you to theirs. And so I did a desperate Facebook post out there, and I said, I don't know anyone in the area. I just moved to the area. I have a dog in Virginia Beach. Someone be my friend. And all of a sudden, a bunch of people responded. And I was like, okay, cool. We're going to go to brunch. And over 30 women ended up showing up that morning. Everybody was laughing, crying their eyes out, being like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not the only one that's longing for something more. Now, fast forward, almost 8 years later, we are now in 175 different cities around the world, all 6 continents. If you know anyone in Antarctica, let us know. And over 25 nations of women that are getting together on a monthly basis to pursue community together. And then ultimately, Community is the vehicle, but what I say happens in community is that we all have an opportunity to walk in greater levels of freedom because you have people across the table reminding you who you are. And so it's creating a world where people are walking in more freedom and everything that God has called them to be. And I think I get questioned a lot of times of like, okay, is this Christian, not Christian? And honestly, it creates a visceral reaction within me because I'm like, what about everybody else? And creating spaces that bring people from all walks of life together so that they can see Jesus's brilliance on display through my life and through those that love him.
Yeah. I feel like that alone is a question that a lot of people have when they even hear about what FounderCon is, and they're like, faith and business collision, and it feels sticky, and it feels raw, and it feels heavy, and it feels like friction, and it feels like that's like, no, you don't do that. And so I love the way that you build community, and I love the way that family is represented there too, which is what the heart of FounderCon is. So thank you for sharing. And if you guys are looking to grow your movements, go find Tiffany this weekend. She is an open book. All right, I'm going to turn the mic to Justin and Elise. And I loved learning, even just last night, some more of Elise's testimony in regards to what she used to be doing and the 5-year not knowing vision that she has then stepped into, working alongside your spouse, doing something totally outside of what was the corporate arena, a fast-paced, hustle-hard lifestyle. And you guys both are very, very intentional about your health. That's what Own It is all about. And so can we talk a bit about what it's like to step away from corporate? Because I know there are people in the room who are like, I know I need to, but there's like safety nets connected to corporate. And so talk to us about that journey, and then you guys can both share about from the health lens how you help people, and what does that look like from a marriage to stay healthy in your marriage while you pursue your dreams.
Absolutely.
It's a lot, so I can cue you up again.
Thanks, Tamara. So yeah, as Tamara mentioned, the last 5 years has been a wild roller coaster for me. My life 5 years ago looks totally differently than it does today. And 5 years ago, I was living in Manhattan in New York City, working for a luxury fashion house as an executive. And I just felt a God calling to start to step away, but I sat on it for 3 years. I completely ignored it because I was comfortable. I was living this amazing life that I thought I was supposed to be living. And then ultimately, Justin will tell you a little bit about his story, but he completely changed his life as well. And I started to see him really follow God in an amazing way and just be obedient to that calling. And so once I started to kind of like dip my toe in the water and say, okay, this is what it might look like. And then I just took baby steps to the point where, for a year I was actually working 2 full-time jobs. I was an executive in corporate at a luxury fashion house, and I was also co-founding and starting to be the CEO of Own It Coaching. And ultimately it got to a point where God was like, go, this is it. And he just pushed me into the deep end. And ever since then, I've really just been listening to his voice and listening to his calling. And it's completely different than how I lived, my life the prior 20 years. But it has been the most fruitful, most fulfilling, most challenging. Now, let me be honest, I asked for a challenge, and God absolutely gave me a challenge. Not only am I the CEO of a pretty new business within the last few years, but I also tag team with my husband. And I'm sure there are people in the audience who work with your spouse, and it is not the easiest thing, but it has absolutely brought us closer, created depth in our relationship with God, and really strengthened our marriage as well.
Yeah, I think just to kind of piggyback on that, as I saw Elise step over everything that she had learned in the corporate setting. She's not doing anything in Own It that she's not already a rock star in. And I call that time that maybe you might be finding yourself in, it's just your carpenter phase. It's just you're honing your skills in a different arena. And the moment that you're willing to step into that calling that like God's pulling you towards, you're going to be able to go in and you're going to thrive. And it's just having the courage to say yes to what it is that's coming forth. And oftentimes people are like, well, I don't know what God's calling me to. Like it's Simon Sinek, I say, ruined it for everybody with it saying like putting this massive pressure on your why and your purpose. And well, how do I find that? And I often talk about this acronym: slow is smooth, but smooth is fast. And SLOW stands for stillness, silence, surrender. So how do you find stillness, silence, and surrender daily? It's a practice that I've gone through in breath work in the sauna every single day that I'm able to actually lean into that. So stillness, silence, surrender gives you the opportunity to listen so that you can actually hear what he's saying to you. You can hear what you're being called to. Gives you the opportunity to be obedient, actually take action, step into it, and then gives you the wisdom to know what to do next. And so if you can just continue to follow that, it starts to just manifest in a completely different way. And all of a sudden, 3 years later, you've got a company that has employees and teams and helping people in all over the continent in a really powerful way, and really empowering people to take ownership of their health that, quite frankly, you weren't operating in before. So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, honey. Thanks,
I
honey.
love that. So good. And there's also a richness to the element of health, and I don't want to miss that, even though this is movements, marriages, and ministries. Let's take 2 minutes on just the importance of health connected to how we're going to show up, because this is not easy work. You alluded to the heartache, the struggles that are associated to it. And we know alignment is really where it all is. It's that spiritual alignment, relational, emotional, all of those. But when we are out of whack, it will destroy what it is that God has positioned in front of you. Can you talk a bit about your intentionality in that?
Yeah, so there's two things that I often talk to when I look at health. And when people think about health, they think, oh, fitness and nutrition. And I want to put a major X through that because it's holistic. It's everything. You can't differentiate between mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional stress. And so when I come back and I say, I want to help you perform better, people think performance as an outcome. Oftentimes when I ask people to define it, they'll say winning or results or achieving goals. But those are just outcomes. When we actually think about the definition of performance, I drive it back to the ability to have a desire and capacity to intentionally and consistently behave at a level equal to your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional potential. And it's not a desire issue any of you have. We all have the desire to have a business. We all have the desire to have the influence. We all have the desire to have a platform. We all have the desire to have energy. But it's a capacity issue.
That's good.
And the capacity issue that we have is just concurrent with the intention and the consistency of our habits. And if we can actually start to get clarity on what that is for us in each and every one of the domains of mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional health, that's when we can transform our ability to show up, because we know that this is a temple that's just carrying the Spirit of God, that's carrying our calling. And if we don't have the capacity to step into it with what it is that we've been called to, there's no way that we're stewarding what we've been given. And if we can't steward it well, we will not be able to be blessed further, because we know that we don't own anything. God owns everything, and that includes this thing that we're embodying. If we do not, we have the ability to either grow what he's given us or shrink it. Number 3, if we shrink it, we will not be given anything more to be trusted with. And 4, we can be called into accountability at any time. And so when we think about our health, the intention and consistency of behaviors will empower you to do more than you could have ever possibly thought.
So great. Thank you so much for that. Can you guys give them a round of applause? So good. You're ready to own your health in a whole new way. They are incredible. So definitely find them. And Justin's actually also running a panel tomorrow, and so is Tiff. So you guys will get to be with them more tomorrow. I want to lean into Kristen around, you hear it, emotional, spiritual, all those things. And then the big hey, and financial. Right? Like that financial piece is so lucrative. We're actually going to be sharing about it a bit, how it's connected to Founder. But talk to us about how real estate has been such an aid to you in that regard, but also you're building movements. You do ministry all the time with your real estate agents and with the homeowners. So talk about that and the growth of the finances connected to it.
Oh, it's just in me, so it has to come out of me. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're in front of me, that's what you're going to get. Yes. And so sometimes, so I run a real estate team, and I've got, my hands in all things real estate. And the reason being is growing up without much, I realized you can't work and get ahead. You can't trade time for money and expect to get ahead. Nobody pays you that well. At least in my experience, I've never seen a job that pays you well enough to get to your goals without having some passive income. So from the time I was very young, I was like, I am on a mission to never have a need. I'm not going to need money. It's going to be there for me to bless people with. But along the way, as I've built teams and as I've, built businesses and stewarded clients and whatnot, oftentimes there's this block or this, this mental block that I can't because there's a lack of money. And one of the things that God showed to me early in life was relationships. You don't need money to make money. You don't need money to build passive income. You need relationships. And God will put the right relationships into your life. My husband and I, when we were kids, had this dream to build spec homes. And we thought, well, we don't have any money. How in the world are we going to do that? And you all know who Zillow is. Zillow has all these people that register, and you're probably one of them. And they popped up, and I'm a real estate agent. And we got a lead from Zillow that actually belonged to another real estate agent and met with my husband, wanted to do put flooring or something in the house. And we showed up all the time. When we made a commitment, we worked hard, we did what we said we were going to do. And these people literally said to us, oh, you guys are building spec homes and borrowing money at 14%. That's expensive. What if I gave you the money to build this dream? And I thought to myself, who does that? I've known you for 15 minutes. You're going to give me, and they literally, I met these people still, they bless us all the time. But the point is, we had no money. These people deposited $300,000 in our bank account and said, go build houses and just pay it forward and pay us back later. And so we did over and over and over again. And the aha in that moment was, it doesn't have to be me that has the money. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to come from a rich family in order to create the wealth. And oh my goodness, if I could be those people when I'm older and bless people in that way. So that's really been my mission, is how do I build wealth such that I can help other people move their missions forward?
Talk about breaking generational lies right there. That is so good. Because those are limiting beliefs that we have, and it's ultimately rooted in lies that have been passed generational to generational, and we get stuck in that place. And so I hope that was nuggets for people to be like, oh wait, I don't have to have that. We're going to talk about resources later, and that just really queued it up beautifully. Thank you. All right, I'm going to shift to Ashley over here, and I'm going to save my heavy vest for last. No offense. And Ashley, one of the things I wanted you to be on the panel for is connected. Obviously, you have an incredible jewelry line, and the way in which you've cultivated that and the intimacy in which you cultivated it from, but also through your movement, you're creating healing ministry. And so I think we get in this place where, oh, it's a product line. Okay, she has e-commerce, and it's very business. So how do you blend your faith with your business, and how do you allow it to still touch the hearts of people who might not have the shared faith, but they love the jewelry?
So I would say, thank you for that.
All right, is this right? So I would say for me, it has everything in my life, business, marriage, raising kids, in ministry has all flowed from the time with the Lord. And it is all required just surrender and obedience. It is all required a slowing down and a listening, which is not in my nature. It's not in my nature to be patient. It's my nature, give me my marching orders and let's go. I'm gonna, I'll be the one with the loudest, let's go. So of course, I feel like God has really used so many different vehicles, marriage, as well as this company, to be able to slow me down in everything, healing, salvation, deliverance, seeing people's lives changed has all come from just spending time with the Lord and literally getting my marching orders from him. So I would impress upon you is, to make that time with the Lord in the morning a priority, to make that time to slow down and to listen and to be in the Word a priority. Is probably the most important time you can spend during the day, because it was in those moments that the Lord gave me scripture for the business before it was birthed, just the structure, the framework, and even just the download of the foundation, which is prayer. Prayer is the foundation. A lot of people don't see that we pray over every single piece before it goes out, but then when you're in person, we pray over. And so we just come as a willing vessel in what God has said and being obedient, and we leave the results up to him. The Lord said, just focus on the relationship, like he said, and I will do the rest. And he really has. And so it's always an adventure. Like I said, it's joy. It's so exciting because you never know what you're going to get. And my husband loves to go fishing, and we love going to the Caribbean and go fishing. And so I tell them, selling jewelry and praying with others is like going fishing. You never know what the Lord's going to do. I will say the very first really powerful encounter I had with the Lord in business was when I was, in the very beginning stages of business, and someone came to my house to actually buy jewelry. I was selling out of my house, and I felt the nudge of the Lord to pray over her. And so as she was walking out the door, the Lord was like, "What are you going to choose, faith or fear?" And I'm like, "Oh, how about the next one, Lord?" So, but I chose faith. And so she looked at me like I was really strange. Like, we do not mix faith and business. Like, that's just weird, but I did it anyways. And after I prayed for her, what poured forth was just identity. And when we got done, she was literally tears streaming down her face. And she said, "Thank you. No one has ever done anything that special for me." And my heart was broken, because, wow, I feel like I've taken so much for granted with special things and having a mom that prays and things like that. So that really impacted me. And then, like Tamara said, with healing, I've been able to pray with people as they just comment on the jewelry. And so I'll be able to strike up a conversation if the person is interested. We'll talk about the scripture, and has led to salvations. It's led to actually praying and laying on of hands when someone says, "Well, actually, can you pray for this shoulder that's hurt?" We were at a conference just a couple of weeks ago, and God literally healed her shoulder of pain that she had had for years. So if you just make yourself available, if you just get over yourself, and if you just say, "Okay, yes, God, whatever that is, I'll trust you, even if I feel like it's going to be weird," you're going to do so much more. I'm going to focus on loving the one that's in front of me, listening to them, letting them feel seen and present. And you can do immeasurably more than all I ask or imagine. So I just encourage you, be strong and courageous. Press into the Lord in the morning and spend that time with him. And then just have your eyes open to what he wants to show you, and just do it.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
So good. I love that. Just do it, Nike. Let's go. All right. I didn't save the best for last because all of you guys are amazing, but I have obviously a special kindred thing here. And he said, "Only ask me one question." I will do my best to only ask you one question, but to give you honor and to give honor where honor is due, I'll get emotional. This wouldn't be happening if he wasn't alongside me. And it's so often that when you see things like this and all the lights and all the glitter and all the glam, you're like, man, they got it. They have the resources. They have exactly what they need. It looks like perfection. And that is not our testimony. So if you don't know our testimony, we happily share it at any point. Not doing that right now. But people ask me often, how do you do what you do? And Sharon, wherever you are in the room, has often asked, who is your mentor? And I obviously go to the Lord, and I really think about this often, like, who is that? And he really is my CEO, but he's my biggest mentor. He has been an entrepreneur much longer than I have. He has walked through fires. As a family, we've walked through fires. We've done it as a marriage. We've done it individually sometimes that I don't even know, and I don't like when he does that. I'm like, "You're wearing it on your face. What's happening?" And you're snoring, so stop. But all of the real of our relationship is I come to him, and I want whoever is in this room who is married and their spouse is present with you today. Can you guys please stand up? I want you guys to see how many married couples are here. Look at this. That's so powerful. So powerful. So honor where honor is due. I mean, this is biblical understanding. But babe, I want you to tell the real of what it's like to be in a home and stewarding a home and being a provider of a home. One, when your wife is nutty and has really big dreams, and also leaves home, and he becomes the hands and feet of Jesus in that moment, and also the hands and feet of mama, because mama's not there. And so having an entrepreneurial home and what that looks like, so that people who might be jumping into entrepreneurship for the first time don't have as much fear, but also have full faith.
Yeah, so I really like so much of what we've already spoke with as a panel. Like, Justin, you've hit so much. I mean, you're literally like robbing the words out of my mouth. And I'm like, go get it. I was just gonna say ditto, Justin. Like that's everything right there. But I believe that it's a gift. You know, I love recognizing things as gifts, and even the gifting in us. Like when we're entrepreneurial, we tend to wear 10 hats, and you know the number one thing you got to do is delegate out, fire yourself on 7 of those hats, so that you're just in the gifting of the 3, right? But when we can recognize the gifts of each other, and I can allow her as much as possible to sit in your gifting, and you can allow me as much as possible to sit in my gifting, then it's the least stressful. You know, at home we practice something called landscape design, and it's literally that simple. It's just we are in charge of designing our landscape, and that goes down to nutrition. Like I can choose to put bananas out, or I can choose to put cookies out. I'm in charge of that landscape. The same way that your yard is landscaped, you're in charge of that. So the really cool thing is the landscape design of our house has so much intentionality, and that meshes into how well we work together in business. I as much as I'm a mentor to you, you're a mentor to me, and also the children. Like the really cool thing is we're showing the kids that this is possible, right? And we're leading by example, right? So it's not, they don't know what they don't know, right? So they think it's perfectly normal, right? That, well, our lives, you know, and it could look chaotic from the outside, or it can look the versions of perfection, which is completely not. But I think that's the biggest thing, is just to know that this isn't ours, and we're stewarding this, and we're just doing the best that we can, moment by moment, day by day, with intentionality, setting forth landscape design, sitting in our gifts.
Good. Can you give him a round of applause? Just for me? Honestly, if you could just applaud everyone up here. We are going to have time. Go ahead. Yeah, you guys are amazing. There will be time, obviously, to interact and ask some questions to people, and I want to give space for that. So make sure that if you do have a lingering question, that you either approach them directly and ask it, or save it for when we'll have some Q&A with the MCs later, okay? Thank you guys so much for being up here with me, and we're going to move on to the next part. Let's go. Oh, yeah, let's get a group photo. Oh. You too. Now I need some jewelry.
Good job, babe. Good job, Drew.
Good job.
Love that.
So many of you guys have asked me this morning already, like, how are you? Right now, I am so good. Like, I am so good. It's in flow. Like, now I can't do anything about what's happening because the schedule is done and God's got the full reins at this point. But I thank you guys all so much for being intentional and just asking that question. I might not have the right answer in that moment, and you might just look at my frazzled face, but I am so good. And I am so grateful, and I hope that you guys are great as well. We're moving into a part of the conference that has never happened before. Specifically because we didn't have the full vision and I didn't have the full team to be able to do what it is that Founder is going to do in the future. You got to hear from Anthony. He's a part of our founding family. I don't know if I can't really see everybody, but we do have a founding family who met in that living room and still meets in living rooms often. And I could not be here without them and their support as well, because they are prayer warriors, they are intercessors, they are visionaries right alongside me. But I've had the joy of bringing on a new visionary to the team in the last 6 months. And she is helping to steward a vision that the Lord deposited into my spirit in January of 2021. I sat in my little kitchen corridor and I started to copiously write notes of a curriculum that I had no idea what I was going to do with. I'm like, I can't teach all of these things. I don't even have expertise in that. I don't even know anyone. I actually need to hire someone in that category, right? And so I started writing this curriculum of what I felt I was missing when I started my business and also became ordained afterwards. And what do I do with that ordination? What do I do with that gift of being able to steward the good news every single day? And it's been obviously 2.5 years since then, but I want to introduce to you the new COO and CFO of the Fit and Faith Media and Founder Collective family. Her name is Candace Brown, Newly Brown. So Candace, coming out with me, girlfriend.
Hello. I think I'm on.
It's supposed to be on.
Hello.
There it is. So Candace, let's jump in here. And we always say, like, jump on in, the water's warm. And we're going to go a place and a destination in the next couple of minutes that you are not familiar with. And so just lean in a bit and get excited about where we're going.
Turn on the video, please. Let's go.
Lean in. The future of the Founder Collective is now. What if the stats of pastoral and entrepreneurial fading was a fact of the past? What if we had the biblical and business sense to propel the kingdom? What if we came together as educators, experts, and executors to ignite other faith-first entrepreneurs? What if leaders, executives, and managers started acting like founders? Imagine a cohort of Holy Spirit-led learners and educators operating together. Imagine a place to commune authentically as visionaries and integrators. Imagine a synergistic educational model for ministers in the marketplace. This is the vision. Using your gifts and talents and treasures for the Great Commission. Creating family-like teams, companies, and communities. Launching kingdom-funded and fueled businesses. Making it known who we serve, why we serve, and how we serve. Ordained and optimized for the kingdom. Now we celebrate and worship our way into effective businesstry. Now you are certified with your vision, focus, and plan of action. Now you are guided by the Holy Spirit and sealed in constant surrendered prayer. This is the Mobilized Church, equipping marketplace ministers.
All right, we're so excited about this. We want you guys to catch a hold of this vision. You really already have, maybe without even knowing it, because I even think about each of you individually and what your role will become in this academy. And so I do see you. I do know your expertise. And if I have not yet to meet you, I will. And it's going to be incredible to see how all of this is going to come together. But Candace, I'm going to let you cue it up.
Yes. So, who's conquered fear? Probably a lot of people, and you probably may have fear today that you're sitting in the audience with that you don't know exists. I have verbal dyslexia, and I say really creative things sometimes. Things that sound really confusing, also really funny, and it may happen today while I'm on stage, and I want everyone to laugh with me. I don't know I'm doing it, and Tamara will intercede if I jumble my words. So I need to lay that on the line so I can actually feel comfortable talking about this vision that we've been stewarding together. I left a 15-year career, completely sold my soul to the world, didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't do it for the love of money. I did it for the fear of money. I was a high-level leader in education leadership. I worked my way from the bottom to the top, and I did it 65 hours a week. My family lost 4 years of my daughter's life. And Tamara came to me a year ago, and she said, I need you to be next to me. I have, God's told me that you're supposed to be here with me, and I was fully involved into the career that I had at the time. And although I've known her for a long time, and our daughters are best friends as well, I didn't really know if that was what God was calling me to do. I have always been a Christian, I would say, but I wasn't Holy Spirit filled, and I certainly lost myself in the career that I had. And so looking back now, something very traumatic happened in September of 2022, and it happened in my career. And I went back to Tamara and I said, I'm thinking about it. And she invited me to FounderCon, and I came, I don't know, 4 hours last year, and I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And it took something really radical with the Lord. Over a year period, I had started to come to know part of the world that existed, the evil in the world, but I hadn't released my own evils. Highly addicted to drugs, things that I have even been able to say out loud yet. I couldn't believe that she wanted me to come on knowing that I had these very deep secrets, and I think that's a lot of the reason why I couldn't say yes, because I didn't want to be a hypocrite. And in February, after a year period of trying to unravel being figuratively medicated by the world, but also literally medicated by the world, no one delivered me other than the Holy Spirit. I woke up February 15th of this year and stopped drugs cold turkey. And I quit my job that day, gave a 6 weeks notice, and I called Tamara 10 minutes later and said, I'm starting on April 1st. And so since April 1st, she has given me this, everything that she has learned and what she wants to do and what has God called her to do. And the Founder Academy was something of just a long-term vision. It was something that she told me about. Knowing I had spent 15 years in education, I actually felt pretty strong that I could help move this along, and this is why God had called me to be with her. And so we have identified pillars that are missing within the industry. And part of those pillars exist. Maybe you know them and maybe you don't. One of the ones that I'm passionate about is what happened to me. Grew up in a Christian home. I went to a big box Christian college, and I went directly into the marketplace. No real skills at all on how to be a Jesus follower inside of the marketplace. I was really good at money. I was really good at finances. I was really good at scaling businesses. I was really good at operations. I was really good at all of those things. But I walked into the world of the corporate leadership and was completely taken over by the enemy inside of those businesses. I was not walking with the Lord, and I fell into it. And so even though I was really good, I had the education, I knew how to run a business, I didn't have Jesus behind me. And I can tell you, I still don't know why I was so good at what I do when I didn't have him behind me, but I know that God was always there and this was his plan. And we need to tap into that while we're in the corporate businesses. And so one of the things about Founder Academy is that we are wanting to help people not only become ordained ministers and be able to speak into people and change people's lives, but everyone in this room, including the pillars that we're going to talk about today, need to understand money management. And they don't understand it because it seems like an abyss over there on the side. The Bible has 2,500 verses about money management, and it's not something that any one of us want to talk about. Money is uncomfortable to talk about. But if you don't know how to manage money, God is not going to bless you. And he's not going to give you that blessing unless you actually apply those skills. We all talk about wanting to do this with our ministries, wanting to do this with our businesses, and you have entrepreneurial skills to do that, but there's actually untapped resources that God has given in this world that belong to us, not the wicked. The wealth of the wicked shall come into the hands of the righteous. It is time for them to stop getting what God has provided for us in this world and tap into it. And one of the things are tangible assets that you don't even know exist that are, if you just read, it's so easy to understand. But the thing is the top 1%, they make their money very easily. They don't do what we're doing here. They have figured it out. And they have figured it out because they have opportunities and people telling them what they can do and how to do it. This Christian industry, which I've only been in for a very, very small amount of time, has shown me that there is love and hope and grace, and God has called people into ministry and for their entrepreneurs. But here's the thing is, there are things that I've noticed that the secular world uses that this world does not. And you don't even know that you're not using it. And if you don't use it, you're never going to get the wealth that God intended for us to have. And everything that's in this world that the 1% use is for us too. And why are we not using it? So in this other pillar that I'll move on to Tamara with is the pastoral portion of the Founder Academy and why it's important for pastors to also understand money management.
The guy with the beard, right? It's the guy with the beard. He's so good. Candace, I am so grateful, first off, to do this with you. And I am so proud of you. You guys, this is the first time she's ever really shared her testimony. And we didn't plan for it to that extent. So Holy Spirit is good. And I hope you have a level of freedom that you've never experienced. And this is the thing that you can't plan for, right? These are the moments that you can't plan for. And I was like, I feel like I should just really walk off stage, but God is good that you had a friend and a comfort in that process. So she mentioned pillar 1, which is the corporate arena who doesn't know how to access faith. Then we have the pastoral arena, and I have the joy of being alongside so many pastors and watching their churches and their ministries grow, and yet they're missing the understanding of business. And so they're in this place of always searching for tithing. They can't turn their lights on. They need a new roof. They can't turn their personal lights on, y'all. This is real stories from real friends of mine. And I struggle with that every single day to the point where I've tried to sit down and be like, okay, let's get this going because you are an entrepreneur. Like that is a part of your DNA. God is the creator. He creates every single day. He created at the beginning. And that's ultimately just what an entrepreneur is. We just need business sense and tactic connected to that. And so I want you guys to recognize these pillars as something that you might find yourself in right now. I am hopeful that you're going to say, oh yeah, I'm good with the pillars and we want to jump in and support in another way. And we're going to tell you how you get to be a part of that in a minute. But if I'm calling you out right now, it is not in the spirit of offense. I've been in every single one of these quadrants. I've worked in the corporate arena. I've worked in the ministerial arena. I am an entrepreneur. And you're going to hear about the other element, which is I am a mom. And so there are things that I'm thinking about generationally connected to what the FounderCon can become and the Founder Academy will be. So the business industry for the pastors needs to be taught effectively. And there are incredible leaders, incredible entrepreneurs who are willing to take a stand to do that. The next is the group of influencers. Raise your hand in here if the world calls you an influencer. Technically, all of your hands should be up, right? Technically, biblically, all of us are influencers. We are called to be the influenced rather than to be influenced by the world. Do not conform, right? Everyone knows this. So you're here to be a change agent. And when I think about influencers specifically, I've had some of them come to me in tears saying, I am tired of being a dancing monkey. And they have millions of followers. They don't even know what an email marketing system is. They don't even understand how their movement, as Tiffany is such a genius around, how it can actually catalyze funds for not only their family, but for the biggest vision, which is ultimately the kingdom. And so I am here, and we're here as an intentionality with this wealth to be able to exchange it out of their hands into ours. And the next piece to that is for the generations.
There is a huge drop in college enrollment, and there is a huge drop in church enrollment. And one of the things that is connected to the pastor and the college is that the lack of mentorship is real. It's why people don't go to college anymore. There is a generation growing up that has been on virtual platforms and have been just they have stopped learning how to connect, and now they want to connect again. And so one of the things that we've identified is that the next generation, 18 and up going into college, they're not doing that, but they want to be entrepreneurs. And they can get coaches and they can go through all of that process, but they don't have what I spoke about before, the actual understanding of how to manage money, how it works for them, how you can make it work for yourself. I worked in corporate and decreased $1 million deficits and made $1 million surpluses in under a year. And it is time to teach the young people how to do that. Otherwise, there's going to be no ministries in 20 years if we don't train them now. And our job is to teach them the mistakes that we've made and actually tell them to make it work for their good. And so instead of having to go to college where there is no real entrepreneur schools, there are no schools that focus on actual Bible principles. What they do is the world is putting this curriculum in the schools, fake curriculum that you will never learn the things that are going to happen at Founder Academy. You'll never understand why real estate should be incorporated into your business. You'll never understand why you should never put money into 401k. You'll never understand why you shouldn't have debt in certain areas, but you should have it in the others, because these are things that will make you build your business that these young people need to have. These are also things that are going to be the curriculum for our entire program. The program will go over a 10-month journey, and there is going to be courses, and it's going to be online, but it's also about things that you've never heard. And so when I tell you, if you're suffering here and have been in the wilderness, because we're in a Jubilee year, right? We are about to come out of it. There's going to be a revival coming. If you've been there and you are wondering, why hasn't the Lord blessed me with money? Why am I struggling in my ministry? Well, there are things that the 1% do that we need to teach everyone in this room and with everyone else. And as I said before, when she was telling me about this, I felt that knowing the last 4 months that I've been in a room with people and with her, you all have the skills to do it from a ministry level, from a forward-facing level. You all know how systems work, but you just don't actually understand the small unlearning that you need to do, that the world's told you how money works, and unlearn it, and then do what we're the 1% do. And if you make these small changes, which you'll learn in these courses, you will walk out with blessings of wealth and kingdom wealth. So go ahead and go into that.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Are you guys curious? Have you been like peaked enough to be like, whoa, this is a need in the market? Come on. This is all from the Lord. Truly. And I know that there are so many trailblazers out there and people who potentially, like I said, could get involved from just in leadership, from an educational lens. Because you're like, yes, like Kristen is going to be teaching about real estate and wealth management. And we already have some incredible people who are coming alongside us for our board. And we're so pumped to see what this is going to become. And knowing that it's not in our hands, it truly is something that we are open-handed about. And I hope that you guys know that you're invited to that table. So the way in which you're invited, and I'll get into that if we jump to the next slide, is connected to these different arenas. Sorry, y'all. I see the green button. There it is. One more time. There it is. These are some different ways that you all can partner with us. Strategic partnerships. This is going to look a lot of different ways as that continues to grow. Governance. We are growing our board right now. Financial contribution, which we're going to get into in just a second. Mentors or shepherds. So when we say 10 months, you're like, 10 months to become ordained? I was in a 2-year program in order to do that, but we only met once a month and had work to do in that month time frame. This is going to be like college. It will be full-time. There will be a mentor that walks alongside you, and there will be shepherds. So one of the unique things in how FounderCon is directly connected to this is FounderCon will be their graduation time every single year. So they will come to a day prior to FounderCon actually starting, and they will graduate and they will become ordained in that moment. There will be baptisms of ordination at that time, and they will have an opportunity at FounderCon to pitch their business to a group of shepherds, not sharks, that are going to be willing to help and walk alongside them financially moving forward. Founder Academy is going to be a fund that will help catalyze other entrepreneurs, faith-driven entrepreneurs into the market. So if resources aren't your thing and you're like, I can't do that, and you want that $25,000 grant, you want that $200,000 investment, you want to be able to share with mentorship, this is going to be a place to do it. So no more Shark Tank. Let's go shepherds. We've got community partner opportunities. Obviously, your spiritual gifting is so critical to us. So whether you have that apostolic lens to see something that we've yet to see, we know that this is a birthing season. This is a birthing zone. This is a birthing place. And we're so excited for that. Ambassadors, just to share about it, Intercessors is a part of that. And then the inaugural cohort of students will happen in 2026. So do you want to share about how they can contribute now?
Yes. So we will launch January 2026 will be the first class. And so we have 3 stages that we're going through right now, and we are in the first stage now. And in those stages, what we're doing is going to be preparing students to start the program in January, which means that the summer of 2025, we will be full-blown marketing effort moving forward. We're going to have all of the curriculum built out over the next year. And so with the 3 stages, the first one is the startup, and that is what we're looking for today with our board that we have that we're building, but also is a way to get us moving on a platform and used for marketing purposes, but also for awareness. I think one of the problems is that to hear that you have to unlearn something is going to be really hard for people to hear, and being able to look at the curriculum and see the courses that are being taken, it will be a shock to some people about what they have to do and what they have to unlearn. And that's the kind of marketing that we need to get moving forward. And so we're looking over the next 6 months to fill the first stage of giving. And so in your seats today, you have a donation card with a envelope. And if you could fill out if you'd like to be a strategic partner on the governance on the board, we have all of our strategic planning completed. We have all of the capital campaign completed. We have lookbooks and everything for if you are looking to be on the board that we want you to be able to see and view ahead of time. So it's important to know that the strategic plan is already completed and that you would be coming in to execute the strategic plan. And so on your seats today, there's also pledges over time that you can mark that if you don't have to give today, if you're not able to, or if you want to think about it. One of the things we really want to talk about and things that we can't all discuss here is that when you see Tamara or I throughout this conference, and Natalie, who will be at the Founder Collective table, we have a lot more information that we can share with you, and we want you to ask the questions that we need. And if you would like to look at our strategic plan or see the capital giving campaign or the levels that we're at, we have all of those. We just don't have time right now. So we have people walking around who you can place your form into. And again, on the back of the donation card, if you're interested in any of these, this is what you should be putting on there as well. Because we are looking for teachers, and they will be in the first round so that we can start marketing those teachers as well. There will be an application process, obviously, to go through and to train you up to understand the curriculum that we'll be going through as well.
I just want to give a shout out to the virtual. We love you. We see you. I see all of the chat over here. And so I'm going to take a moment in a little bit to go and just hang out with you guys in the virtual arena alongside our virtual MCs, Josiah and Dane. We love you so much. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you truly for being leaned in. And we're hoping that we can come alongside one another to be able to support everything that you're doing and vice versa. We're excited to hear from more people today. And for those who are on live, if you are on live YouTube or live Facebook stream, we're saying sayonara for the rest of the day, but you don't have to say goodbye. You can click the link below and upgrade your ticket to be able to hang out with us for the rest of the day, because you're not going to want to miss the remainder of this incredible opportunity to hear from these speakers. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Let's go, let's go. It's only awkward if you make it awkward. I love to have awkward entrances. I do want to make one last ditch for those of you that are on with us from our virtual group. If you are here on a free status, you have 3 minutes to join us. That starts at 11 o'clock. That feed will cut off. It is in the description. You can click it, purchase your ticket now, and be with us the next 2 days. That's important. How many of y'all have enjoyed what you've received thus far? Just a little down payment. And everything that Candace and Tamara just talked about, so important. 2 years ago, we stood on a stage of a business conference, and I didn't know then that we were about to preach the heart of where God was taking this movement. And it was people like Ryan Austin, who's in the audience, where I watched over 2 days, and God said, you're about to preach an ordination service. because I've put people in businesses and in places that the boxes with the pretty steeples, yeah, they're pretty. I'm a pastor of a church. I love that place too. But I'm putting people in strategic places to make a difference in the world around us. I'm putting people with the calling of pastor, teacher in those places. They may not be ordained by those box churches, but I have a heart in them to change the world. It's people like Ryan Austin. I'm going to bring him up often because that's my dude. That would pray over his people before they go work, that would show up to a site where they're putting tar on a road and cook breakfast for them. That's the change agents that God's calling you to be. And we believe that's what this founder movement is all about, is preparing you to make a difference. And I'm excited for our next speaker. Out of all the speakers, this is one I really am looking forward to hearing her talk, because she is the embodiment of everything we've been talking about. She has gone from a college dropout to teaching college level courses. Talk about from the bottom to the top. How many of y'all have ever failed at something and said, well, I guess that's all I'll ever be? She's here to tell you that you're not. She is the president of the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce. She's an author. She has a business, which I love the name of, Intent and Impact. And if you're around me any amount of time, I hope that you hear those words or see those embodied in everything I do about being intentional and being an impact around us. Crystal Parker is about to rock your socks off. Let's go.